feel like I need snacks.
You need snacks?
I always need snacks. We should have Pencast snacks.
We got some pumpkins over there.
Ew!
Candy pumpkins that are like 2 months old now.
No.
Do you legitimately want to go get snacks?
No. It would be inappropriate. There's nothing that you can eat quietly or not disgustingly.
That's true.
Yeah, nope. I will forego snacks. I will just
Drink coffee.
drink coffee, yeah.
All right, when in doubt. All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 71 of the Goulet Pencast, where fountain pens are still a thing. I am Brian Goulet.
I'm Drew Brown.
And we are here from Goulet Pens to deliver this casual and informal, tangential and extraneous, superfluous and extemporaneous fountain pen show, where we talk about what's going on at the Goulet Pen Company and in our fountain pen lives. In today's show, we're going to be talking about removing paper fibers from your nib, pens inspired by our favorite movies and TV shows, getting a little creative, our top 5 pocket pens in ascending order, 5 up to 1, very specific request that we had, and we're going to do it. Favorite inks for the winter holiday season, whatever this is that we're in. Which carb food that we would eat if we could only have one carb?
Threw a fun one in there for this week.
Don't think we've ever been asked that before. So yeah, we're going to be spotlighting our new exclusive, the Visconti Opera Master Combustion. We got some beautiful holiday sweaters to show off. I swear we didn't even talk about this ahead of time. We might have mentioned like, oh yeah, let's try to wear sweaters.
I wear one almost every day this month.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm already getting a little warm. So I was fine last time, but this time, I'm already feeling it. I think it's a lot warmer day today.
That was like your first legit holiday sweater.
This is the one that kicked it off for me. And then once I had this, I was like, I kind of dig this. I dig this vibe. This pattern hides a lot of my shapes. Hides the shapes.
I mean, it is shapes.
There's
a lot of shapes in that pattern.
Well, the shapes distract from my shapes.
This is a legit sweater. Like this is a knitted sweater.
It is, and it's legitimately warm. But you know what? I'm going to power through. But anyway, we look good. That's what matters.
It's the season.
We got sweaters to show off, and we got some turkey hammocking nonsense. So it'll be a good time had by all, us especially. And we're going to start it off with feedback.
You know, Brian, I was thinking, having a few comments about the length of that 2 hour and 45 minute Pencast.
Yeah, how about that?
When you came up with the intro for the Pencast, extemporaneous and all that, like you had no idea we'd ever do something like that, or maybe you did.
I didn't know where it was going to go.
Because that was back when it was just an hour every episode.
I mean, what was the shortest one we ever did?
Like 50 minutes.
Okay, that feels like impossible.
Right, but that's what this is. So when you came up with all those words to put at the beginning of every Pencast, it's almost like you had this foresight that one day it was going to become some.
I knew where things were headed.
Monstrosity.
Well, that's what happened with Q. That's what happened with Q&A over the whatever, how many 280 or whatever we did.
That's right.
Yeah, it started off as like 30 minutes answering 20 questions or something. And it turned into like an hour and a half of me answering like 4 questions.
So it's self-actualization.
A little bit.
Excellent.
A little bit.
All right.
When we're not trying to be short on time, I find we go long, especially the two of us.
Yeah.
Because we banter like we're doing right now.
Anyway, the next bit of banter comes to us from JS Matlock on YouTube. And JS says, when Drew mentioned King Tut, I suddenly became 8 years old again and got a fit full of the giggles. You are not alone, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Nice.
Greg Worthen, 4562, says, speaking of which, the Visconti Tutankhamun sarcophagus would make an excellent gravy boat.
Hey.
And it comes with a free pen, because we were talking about how...
It would hold gravy.
Well, I was talking about how you needed a more prestigious gravy boat for this legendary family gravy recipe, and you were it's fine. And
we did get a gravy boat, by the way.
You did?
It arrived. Yeah, Rachel ordered it. Yeah, it came in. It's a boat for gravy. It does it does kind of look like...
Is it blingy?
Like a Viking ship.
Yes.
Like it's very Viking ship shaped.
Excellent. Good. All right. That pleases me.
Not intentionally. It's not like a theme.
No. But it needs to be.
I'll try to take a picture of it. I don't have a picture of it on my phone, so
we need to see your gravy boat.
I'll have to remember it and then upload it before we edit this thing.
That's fine.
I'm making no promises, but if there is a picture of it, as we're talking about it here, you will know Brian remembered to include a picture. So anyway,
there you go.
Who cares? Who cares about my gravy boat? I don't know. Y'all, whatever. Drew does apparently.
I respect the family recipe, and it needs to be.
The gravy is what matters.
Celebrated, yes.
The vehicle, the delivery vehicle does not matter so much.
Oh, anyway. All right.
But it should do it justice.
Anyway, Steven Prusensky asks or says, fellas, episode number 100 needs to be very special. Do you have any special plans or ideas for the magic Pencast number 100? No!
When would that be?
We don't know.
We don't even know. Like, we don't even know. I didn't even know what episode it was until we sat down and
we
did the
didn't
scripts.
do anything special for 50.
We didn't.
We talked about maybe doing something special, but
We talked about it.
we did not. So we can talk about doing something special and then not.
But we were still like hybrid remote, whatever at that time.
Yeah,
so it was
that's
like a
true.
little weird. But I mean, I don't know. What would we do?
The Hot Ones challenge.
We should do an extended episode for number 100.
Oh God, you're
we
trying
should
to kill me.
We should answer 100 questions.
Oh my God. Oh.
It'll be a 4-day live stream, and we'll just drink coffee the entire time.
I do that already, and I
until
still don't have the energy for that.
We will just literally record the Pencast until we collapse from exhaustion and
God,
just
no.
pass out. That sounds fun. I don't know. If y'all have ideas? I mean, what is it? Episode 71? So it's what? Over half a year before we're going to get to 100. Yeah. So we got time.
But it'll feel like it arrived quickly.
It will once we're at 98.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh crap, we didn't think of anything for 100.
That, yes.
And then we can recall this clip right now and be like, oh yeah, remember we said we might do something for 100? Totally didn't do that.
Yep.
Anyway, that's more likely to happen.
That sounds about right.
We got some cool ideas, maybe. Yeah. I like the 100 questions thing though. We're not going to do that. But we might, but we won't. Anyway, I got some feedback too. Lots of positive comments about the improved audio, which we then subsequently changed. We changed this up a little bit. We got a separate, I'm not going to get all into details, but we're trying. I think we have a setting on the camera too that's going to help with that.
Yeah.
But ultimately what we've determined is Brian moves his hands around too much when he talks. And because of the like limiter that we have in the software, it's basically, it's been...
When it hears a peak, it kind of cuts out for a few seconds.
Yeah, it like dampens kind of the whole audio. So while I'm talking and moving my hands and like hitting the table and touching the mic and stuff like that, it's making my audio go down. So it's not me moving away from the mic. It's not any of that. It's literally just the software trying to compensate for my gregarious hand movements. And
gesticulatory.
I've been this way my entire life and it's not going to change. So as much as I try to think about it for 2 straight hours, I literally just can't. Especially when I'm talking, it's just, my hands just move. It happens. I'll try.
But thank you for the positive feedback.
But I'm glad it's better and we're going to get there even more. So we did get some feedback too about like the arm was like really obnoxious and blocking a lot of my face. So we tried a different arm setup. So I don't know. We'll try. We'll keep going. Apparently I have special needs when it comes to audio. But next feedback we have is from Throttle 101. Brian always seems to be in a good mood. What happens when he gets angry? We have like nested feedback here.
This sparked a conversation.
Oh, okay. All right. So AB Create With Me 5660 says Blue Hulk.
That makes
which I
sense.
think would look pretty awesome. I could see that. That's a good meme fodder right there. Let's see here. Starine Frazier 9560 says, I'm thinking he goes into the woods and makes something. Can't picture him being very angry. LOL. It's true. I don't genuinely get angry very much.
You have gone out in the woods to take out some stress, though.
Yeah, I do, but it's less like, oh, I have pent up anger. I need to destroy
you need
things.
to decompress.
Yeah, it's like I need to like spend time in nature and like
destroy it.
Not think about I also enhance it. It's a symbiotic relationship. But this is the good one here. K-Sec says he has a kind of dad energy that makes me think he doesn't get angry. He just gets disappointed.
Yes.
You have nailed it.
Yes.
That is 100%. Most of the time, I'm not angry. I'm intense.
Yeah, I've seen you. I have
strong feelings.
Yeah, I've seen you be intensely disappointed before.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And
most of the time, it's at myself. Like it's usually directed because like I'm disappointed at the situation, or I take a lot of personal responsibility, but it often comes across as me being like disappointed or upset with others. So I usually have to apologize and disclaim and be like, no, it's not about you at all. Even if it was something that like happened and somebody else was involved, I'm like, no, I'm actually not upset at you. Like my kids, like with the socks all over the house. It's like, I'm not really upset. Your kids, like it's really not a big deal. But I'm upset because I have clutter all over the house. I want that to be better. My kids are reflecting the very same blind spots that I have in myself, and it's just a mirror that reflects my own shortcomings. That's what I'm actually upset about and disappointed. That's just a lot to communicate in the moment.
Such a parenting norm. That's everything our kids do. Like it's all a reflection of us.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
All of it.
Exactly. So, but there are times when genuinely like, I haven't done anything wrong. This is my kids being like not knowing how to be humans,
Yeah.
so and needing to be told, what's what.
Yeah.
So
But no, he definitely does not get angry.
no, very, very rarely, like genuine.
I've
anger.
never, yeah.
No. It's pretty rare.
Not a thing.
Pretty rare. Bart Grossman 9361 says pants are called pants because
Oh, we talked about this last time.
Yeah,
That's right.
like why are
'Cause you were
pants-
like, why is it a pair?
why is it a pair? And then I was
Right.
like, why are pants and shorts are shorts? Like why aren't pants called longs?
Right.
Right. So anyway, Bart Grossman says pants are called pants because historically they weren't a single garment, but were two pieces that joined at the waist. What, like chaps?
I guess so.
Like separate legs that
Yeah.
you would then tie together with a belt?
I guess so.
That seems interesting. I guess before you had like
Well,
good ways
that's
of like stitching, sort of. I
well,
don't know.
without having to, it's much more complicated to sew the rest of the garments. If you just do
Yeah.
legs, that's just two tubes.
Yeah.
So it's
I guess
probably
that's easier to make, like
Yeah.
manufacturing wise.
Yeah.
But it's not like covering your most precious cargo, right?
Well, I
like,
think there was actually another comment that mentioned this, and they said that it was worn under like a toga or a,
so you had like some other dress covering.
Yeah.
That would just generally cover your shape.
yeah, but for
But then for
jobs and activities that required leg protection,
Yeah, if
you
I'm
would
like trekking
strap those
through
on.
the woods, like a toga is
Yeah.
not going to cut it.
right?
Okay.
You'd
So you
strap
have
those on.
general protection over your goods,
They're-
your
it's
bits and
covered.
pieces.
Yeah.
But pants would be separate. Interesting. I didn't know that.
And you'd need to have a pair of them.
A pair of pants. And then you join them together and we just kept calling them pants, I guess.
There we go.
Interesting. Well, there you go. Thank you, Bart
Yeah,
Grossman.
we always learn. We always, whenever we claim ignorance, we always have the support of
Oh.
our pen friends out
We're
there.
mostly spewing ignorance. Don't be fooled. Most of what you hear here, you should be like, is that really true? I'm skeptical. These are just two guys talking. Anyway, we know about pen stuff, but most other things, it's
not
total
pants stuff.
nonsense. Yeah, not pants. And then I had this feedback. Jen was telling me about this earlier. I don't know who it was from, but she was like, we had a very impassioned feedback from a customer that came up about argon gas, which I use for welding. It's welding shielding gas.
Yeah, we talked about that and
So
helium.
So apparently argon gas, I know this, is heavier than oxygen. It's heavier than air. So argon will sink. So apparently if you don't have good ventilation and you're welding with argon gas and you're breathing it in, it can like sit in your lungs and it can just build up over time just in your lungs. And that's very dangerous. So just somebody very adamant about making sure that I'm watching out. I mean, I'm not welding really all that much and I'm cognizant of that. A lot of times I'm welding outside as well, but there are times when I do it inside. And it was a good reminder for me to be very cognizant of the ventilation, not just because of like fumes and stuff from the actual welding process, but the shielding gas. So not breathing in argon and filling up my lungs with non-oxygen. So
There you go.
Good reminder.
Stay away from argon.
Yep. Unless you're welding, and then just do the proper things. Okay. Anyway, welding is incredibly dangerous, by the way, but it's super cool. Let's move it on to new stuff. All right.
A little light on the new stuff today.
We're a little lighter. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. This is a busy time of year for us. We got a lot of good things going on. We have a few launches. So I got a couple of long-awaited things to talk about. One of them is hailing from France, the ST DuPont Defi.
That's right.
I mean, we've been up for debate, like, is it Defi, Defy, but I think Defi is more the
Defi.
slightly more of the French way to pronounce it. So anyway, this is I'll call it a more affordable, more introductory
You
level.
could call it most
pen.
affordable. Well, maybe not.
I don't know if it's the
do they still
most
have, Do they still have
affordable?
that initial D? Is that still a thing?
I don't know if they still have that,
The
but we
initial?
never carried it. So
Yeah.
so basically, there was a previous version of a more intro level
Mm-hmm.
DuPont pen that we never picked up because we didn't love it, and so we were waiting. That we heard that they were going to do this one, and we saw samples of it a while ago. They had some delays and stuff. They've had a lot of delays manufacturing in France, with just COVID impact and stuff like that. But it's finally here, and so it's a pretty cool pen. It's a hooded nib, which you don't see on a lot of pens. The fit and finish on this pen is pretty awesome. It's all machine, it's very European, very French. So lots of cool angles and just things like that. Like clearly the aesthetic design was something very thoughtful for them. So they actually have it in 5 colors. We're carrying not all of them. 3 colors. Which ones are we carrying?
I think we are carrying 5.
Mystery. No, there's the black and the blue ones you mentioned. I don't think we're carrying.
Oh, really?
Let me get straight on that.
I think we have all 5.
We definitely have
All 5.
shiny black. Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry. I think maybe initially we were not going to carry them all, but I guess apparently we did.
Yeah,
So,
2 shinies, 3 matte.
Yep. So, a couple of brighter colors, got a red and orange, and then some more
It's a matte
subtle
orange
colors.
too. It's a really cool
You
orange.
don't see a lot of matte orange.
No, but it's red.
It's pretty cool.
The orange stands out to me as one of them.
The red's more of like a coral. It's got a little bit of pink to it. It's
Yeah.
not like a blood red. But personally, I mean, the blue is like a deep navy blue. So my favorite of the bunch is actually the matte black. Actually taking one of those for myself. So been nib nooking it and playing around with it and stuff. So it's $316. So still it's up there. It's up there for.
But
for
I
some
will
pens,
say that for a sub $500 ST DuPont, which are few and far between, and have it still feel like you're getting an ST DuPont in terms of weight and build quality.
Same hefts and the way it like the cap clicks together and stuff like that.
You're going to get it in your hand. You're not going to be like, oh, this doesn't feel like $300.
Right.
I don't think so anyway. I think
it feels like an appropriate lower price for the quality comparison to the line.
And it's an ST DuPont. Honestly, if you had like an $80 ST DuPont, that's suspicious.
It would it would feel like an $80, whatever. So it's a medium nib only. I found it to be, pretty medium in terms of wetness, very, very smooth nib. But it's not like a total gusher, no like crazy stuff going on with the grind or anything like that. Nice all-around pen. It's maybe even a little bit on the finer side. I was using it mostly with Noodler's Black, which is what I use for our Nib Nook tool. So we'll have that loaded on here by the time you guys watch this. We'll have it loaded so you can compare it to other pens out there. But good all-around writing pen. The grip is a little bit awkward, I will say.
I don't hold the grip of this pen on the grip. I don't grip this pen on the grip. I grip it behind the grip.
Yeah, it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, you'll look at it and you'll be like, yeah, that seems a little odd. So you might know if it's good for you because it's a slick metal grip. The grip is relatively short and it's got a pretty strong taper.
Yeah.
And a pretty pronounced step.
I hang on to it above the taper, which I've found that I do that on a lot of pens.
Yeah, you really hold your pens back.
I really do.
Times. Maybe it's
I was writing with my Pro Gear Slim and I hold it on top of the threads.
Yeah?
I hold my pen
straight up on it?
Yeah, I hold my pen right there.
Yeah, okay.
And
I mean, it's got a pretty short grip section.
It does. But that doesn't bother me.
Those threads are pretty shallow. So the Defi is magnetic cap. So most pens with magnetic caps, you're going to have a pretty pronounced step.
Yep.
So that's something to be aware of. Me personally, I end up holding it like my middle finger, maybe a little bit of my pointers like on the grip part, and my thumb is like up on the body of the pen. So I kind of use the step almost as like a placeholder.
Like a perch.
Yeah, like a little perch. So, but even still, it's like if I was writing for a really long session, it would probably start to slip around a little bit because it's got that slick metal thing. So, but because of the metal, the magnetic, kind of enclosure thing, it's like nice for like quick capping. And
and it's a solid magnet too. It's not a finicky magnet. We're like, all right, where does it want to cap? No, it's thunk.
No, it thunks on it. Yeah, so pretty solid. So anyway, go check it out if you're interested in that. At least go look at it because aesthetically, it's a very beautiful pen. Then the other one I got to show you is one we're actually going to be featuring today in the spotlight. This is an exclusive of ours with Visconti that we've been working on for a while. This is with a Carolina Jonathan Brooks resin. So this is, a custom resin basically that we had done up specifically for this pen, and it looks pretty rad.
Yes.
So it's like a deep reddish, blackish, sparkly. It's just a gorgeous pen.
Really cool.
We got some translucency to it, so you'll be able to see a little bit of the ink through it. It's pretty neat. So go check out. We got some good pictures on our site, and obviously we'll be talking about it later in this broadcast as well. It's got ruthenium trim with an 18 karat nib, an extra fine, medium, broad, and a 1.3 millimeter stub. And then we put the double reservoir power filler and a hook safe lock, which I'm excited about because most of the other, it's an Opera Master too. I don't think I mentioned the actual model of the pen. So it's a pretty big pen, but most of the other Opera Masters that we've done in the past have been threaded, not hook safe.
Definitely the exclusives
like
that we've done.
The exclusives, because that's usually what's been available. So the fact we could do a hook safe on this one, I was like, yes. So we got those available now. You can go check them out. We're only doing 88 pens. So it's pretty limited, but it's not like, it depends on the price range where it's not like it's going to sell out this week or anything. We'll have them for a little while, but not forever. So go check it out. And if you're interested, put it on your list. And now Drew's going to tell us about another expensive pen. Drew?
Yes. So it's not every day that a newly manufactured celluloid fountain pen becomes available, but today is that
like
day.
Like a real celluloid.
Yes, legit Italian celluloid.
The real deal.
So this is coming to us from Montegrappa. They are releasing a series of pens called the Venetia. And in 4 colors, we've got the dark blue, glittering blue, lapis lazuli, and pearl gray, which I keep wanting to call Earl Grey, but it's Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
So these are less than $1,000. They're $900 a piece, which again, for
you can't get celluloid for under 1,000
right
on any pen these
so
days.
With a gold nib, Italian celluloid, and an Italian pen, it's also a U.S. exclusive. Like, this is a pretty cool thing to have happen.
Yeah,
it's been a while. I think the last time we did see a true celluloid pen come through here, it was a Montegrappa. They've had a few here and there.
Yeah,
but
they have stock. I mean, we went to tour their factory. They showed us where they have the celluloid. They have, well, what to us seemed like a decent amount of celluloid, but I know in their minds it's not much.
No, well, if to us it was like, oh my gosh, a whole room. But then when you think about how much celluloid stock there is in the world, that's like
most of it.
It's like a precious tiny little treasure.
Yeah, they're really not making it anymore.
So having the opportunity to stock some true celluloid fountain pens, which is a rare material, not easy to work with anymore, not being produced anymore, it's a good opportunity both for us to offer it and for you to acquire it if you are finding that to be in your bullseye. So
and if you don't know
pens.
And if you don't know why, who cares about celluloid? I mean, most people don't, right? It's one of those things that if you're really, really, really into pens,
it won't make your writing experience better.
No, not at all. I mean,
it's a rare material.
It's a rare material, so you get some, and the colors and stuff themselves are pretty unique and hard to emulate with other materials.
Yeah, but the designs, the color, the depth, it has a finish that is, it hasn't yet been truly replicated.
Yeah, and it feels sort of like ebonite or like the Visconti lava, where it can sort of absorb some of your hand oils and stuff. So to me, I have really oily hands, so I notice it, pretty substantially.
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, when I'm holding a pen that has the true celluloid, because it's a natural material. It's a cellulose-based material, just like ebonite is a natural material. That lava resin, it's got rock, so it will sort of wick away some of the moisture in your hands and give you a little bit firmer grip. So
that's cool.
It feels a little bit different in your hand, but also I find when I'm writing with it for longer, and usually my fingers get a little oily and a little sweatier and all that, I attain a little bit more of a grip. So very specialized thing that not everybody will appreciate, but for those that do, true celluloid is something cool. All right, that's what we got for new stuff now. Be sure to check our website. We have coming soon, new arrivals, all that stuff on our site, and we're coming out with new stuff all the time. But now it's time to get into the meat of the program. Questions and answers.
Okay. Our friend Karis is emailing us today with a photograph.
Hello.
Karis has a
visual
pen.
aid.
Yes, Karis has a pen, and we'll put that up for you to see so that we can all diagnose Karis's issue together.
Okay.
Karis says, please see attached photo. This is a general question, as it seems to apply to every pen and paper type I use. The paper fibers that get stuck in the nib. What is the best way to remove them? I've tried wiping the nib on a paper towel, which helps sometimes, and tried picking them out with my fingernails, usually resulting in getting ink everywhere. I get these fibers all the time on many different types of papers. Looks like they have a tool pen right there, and you can see that it is full of chunk and funk from the pen and the paper.
Yeah, it's got a big old dangly,
big old globulous bit of sadness on there.
Doesn't look like a nib creep thing. I mean, that's definitely paper fiber. It's
you can
lodged
see
in there.
It's flowing.
Yeah.
What can Karis do, Brian?
So I'll kind of take this question in two parts here. So Karis, the answer to all your problems here is a brass sheet. Literally, it's just a very, very thin sheet of brass, and it's brass specifically because brass is a softer metal than in this case what you're dealing with, stainless steel. But it's pretty soft. It's not going to, unless you scratch it with the corner of the brass, you could do some damage. But basically, you're going to be able to floss the tines without really affecting the nib itself. But basically, you take the corner of that brass, you put it up near the breather hole, and you kind of get that corner down in there, slide it all the way down, and it just drags all that fiber straight out of the nib, and it's going to write fantastic after that. So that really is the best way to do it.
You could also go in from the back if you want to go in from the feed side. You can kind of get the corner up that way.
If all your stuff is caught right at the tip, that's another good way to do it. Yeah, then you don't have to worry about potentially scratching the surface
I usually
of
go
it.
from under.
That's true. That's a good point.
Just because I don't want to mess with the face of the nib at all.
That's a good
And there's
point.
usually nothing back there anyway.
Yeah, I guess if you have if it's been happening for a long time and you got like kind of junk that's been building
or
up
if
in
it's
there.
not fibers are going to be up front. But if you've got some other funky crust in there, then that could be everywhere.
Yeah.
I go in through the breather hole like you suggested if my nib is off the feed for sure. Because you know why not? You know, easy access
for sure. Yeah, but that more or less is your answer. But what I am curious about though is the fact that you said that it happens on like every pen and paper type you use. That is a little bit unusual.
Did it say every pen and paper type?
In the beginning of the question, yeah, I had to kind of reread it.
Oh, it seems to apply
to every pen and paper type I use.
Oh, that is interesting. I remember the paper part, but the pen part. Ooh, now, Karis, you've got our brains wrinkling.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's not unusual to happen.
With one pen?
Yeah, I mean, usually when this happens, I'm thinking maybe the tines are not quite adjusted, or maybe it wasn't, when it was initially ground, it wasn't like polished on just the little the inside of that tip just a bit, which, we do have some tools that can help with that. There's ways that you can kind of account for that.
Yeah, so if you've got some tines and you've got one tine lower than the other ones, when you're going that way, it's going to be pretty smooth. But if you go this way, this tine is going to be
it's going to drag a little bit.
Dragging, and it's going to bring up those paper chunks.
Yeah, especially with a stainless steel nib because it's a little stiffer than gold.
Yeah, so you would just need to kind of pop them up so they're not misaligned anymore. But on every pen.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Are all of Karis's pens misaligned?
This to me is like, to really like diagnose this more, we'd have to get more information, because I'm thinking there could be something with writing pressure. If you're writing with a lot of pressure, then you can actually be like flexing those tines apart, especially if you're doing it on the cross stroke.
Yeah, you can definitely misalign your pen if you write with a lot of pressure and at an angle.
Yeah.
One of those tines is going to compensate for that weight by moving, and the other one's not going to be moving.
So I would say, making sure that you're not using any more pressure than is necessary to get the ink flowing. Also, the steeper you hold your pen, the more likely that is to happen, because I think most nib folks and pen people, they're grinding their nibs to be smooth within more or less of a kind of a 45, 50 degree writing angle.
Yeah.
But if you hold your pen at some kind of extreme, especially you can usually go more extreme on the up, it may not be ground quite as smooth, and you can get some more scratchiness kind of stuff. And plus, when you hold it at a steeper angle like that, if you're applying any pressure, your tines don't have anywhere to flex. So you're just going to be like really jamming it straight down in there. So the amount of pressure that you apply at a steeper angle has a greater impact on the drag of the pen than it would at a lower angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because when they're grinding the nibs, like you said, they're not really thinking about someone who writes at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of this applies to you, Karis, but these are some of the things that is running through my mind. Is like, I don't want you to feel like, just this is how fountain pens are. There's always stuff getting caught in the nib with every pen and every paper. I also don't know which pens you have. I don't know which paper you have. It could be that you're using a lot of different pens and paper, but all of them maybe are just more prone to doing this, particularly.
I would probably avoid paper towels, construction paper.
Construction paper is probably not ideal.
No. This is a great topic for our customer care team, though. They eat this stuff up. They love it, and they will be able to help you out, especially if you've bought anything.
I'm looking here, and I see dot paper, so it makes me think there's like a Leuchtturm or Rhodia or something like that. So it's like, I'm assuming there's like maybe some decent paper here. So it makes me think that maybe there's something else going on.
Yeah.
So that might be something, if you are experiencing this with a lot of different pens, may want to reach out to our team, or, I'm assuming you bought the pens from us. I mean, our team's happy to help you anyway, but like, whoever you bought the pens from, if there's a suspected defect, maybe might be worth investigating a little bit, or if there is something, troubleshooting tips or whatever, in terms of just how you write or whatever, it might be something interesting to try and figure out, because you could enhance your writing experience just by tweaking some things a little bit. So, but yeah, brass sheet in the meantime will totally solve this little issue that you have.
But it is a short-term fix. If your pen suffers from misalignment, it's going to happen again.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, if you just keep a brass sheet and just do it every now and then, it's not that
They say
big of a
flossing
deal.
every day is healthy.
That's true. I guess it applies to fountain pens too, especially if your nib is toothy.
Dental jokes.
Wow. Okay. All right. My next question for you, Drew, is from Make Right Stuff.
Oh, hi.
Oh, this is right up your alley, Drew. If you could design a pen inspired by your favorite movie or TV show, how would it look? And you have several answers here.
I couldn't just pick one. All right, my favorite.
That's great.
My
Go
favorite
for it.
TV show is Deadwood on HBO, and so the only thing I could think of was, well, thematically that wouldn't be interesting, but the show is infamously riddled with foul language. So it'd be funny if you got a pen that it only wrote like terrible, terrible things. You'd be like, oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. No. But anyway, no, that wouldn't work. I thought about TV shows and I'm like, oh, Transformers are cool. A Transformer pen, like an actual Transformer pen that like they make. Oh my gosh. They could make a robot that turns into a way more complicated thing. Like I'm talking about the toys. They make a robot that can turn into way more complicated things than just a pen. Why couldn't they make a robot that turns into a pen? A little action figure, and you could just turn it into a pen. Why not? And
I like the noise. That was like a very show accurate noise you made that.
I don't know why. It's the first time I've ever made that noise.
Right? Yeah.
So the converter could turn into something that was like a rocket launcher or something. That could be done.
Oh wow. Okay.
That could be done.
Okay.
Or Megatron, he has that like big arm blaster. Woo, it could be on that.
Oh yeah.
Possibilities for Transformers. That's what I'm saying.
Have you seen that Lego set? That's the Optimus Prime.
Of course I have. Are you kidding me?
Cool.
I want it because I have the DeLorean, I have the Ecto-1, and then that's an 80s vehicle. Right.
Yeah.
I know. It could be right there. And
it's so good.
It's so expensive though.
I know.
So also Rocky, favorite movie series. Okay. In every Rocky movie, he wears a different color shorts for his final boxing match. So, like, you know how Diplomat had that one pen that we didn't carry that kind of like you could change out the colors or something like that? Something like that, but cooler because it'd be Rocky. It'd be a pen that you could change into his like Rocky 1 shorts, his Rocky 2 shorts, his Rocky 3, Rocky 4. So different shorts for you. If you're feeling like you're in a Rocky 3 vibe, then boom. You got your yellow and black for the second fight against Mr. T. The first fight against Mr. T,
of course,
he wore gold, but he lost that one. So you don't want that one. You don't want to be inspired by that one. You
took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. I was just about to say.
Okay, yeah. I could tell.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
It's right there.
Second fight, he wore the American flag. What am I saying, Brian? Well, Apollo gave him the American flag shorts for the second fight. The first fight, he was wearing the yellow one. That's no good. Oh, how did I make a mistake there?
Yeah.
You want the American flag shorts.
I was testing
because Apollo came and started helping him out. And then they hugged in the beach water.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Slow motion.
Because I've seen any of the Rocky movies.
Oh, you make me sad. Anyway, Ghostbusters pen that looks like the trap that they step on to open up and it sucks in the ghost. So it would have doors on the pen. And then the trap handle wouldn't really work because that would poke out the back. But if it rotated 90 degrees, it could be the clip.
Okay.
And then it could turn back around and it'd be the handle of the trap again.
Nice.
I don't think it would need wheels, but the doors would definitely need to open. That's where you could put the converter in and the cartridge. The doors open, whoop, put the cartridge in there.
Wow.
Pop it in there.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it would load kind of like a bolt action rifle. You know, you just take the cartridge and put it in a little slot in the side.
Yeah.
Boom.
Could that work for a Deadwood theme as well? Like, isn't that like a?
Honestly, guns don't really play a big role in that show. No. There's like
just the name Deadwood sounds like
it looks like a cowboy show.
Yeah.
And it is. It takes place in the West and that in the gold rush, but really they shoot guns maybe 3 times in 3 seasons.
It's probably more what it was actually like.
Yeah.
And people aren't just like running around shooting guns on horses.
It was a big deal. It was like that's one thing I like about the show. It seems pretty realistic for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
It's not just like woo, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And then finally, I'm a big fan of the Muppets.
A
series of Muppet pens, Brian. So you've got a Kermit pen that's fuzzy, but a low pile, fuzzy.
Okay.
And then you've got like an animal pen that's like super fuzzy. Like just you're writing with a big old red fuzz ball. And then Fozzie that's like in between. So fuzzier than Kermit, not as fuzzy as animal.
Yeah, yeah.
The options there are
you got a lot of good options there.
I like a lot of.
You could have the condor nib for the Gonzo pen.
Oh, good one. I like that.
There you go.
Very nice.
Very cool.
What do you got?
I don't have as many good ideas.
Well, no, that's fine. No, we don't need.
This was definitely your question. The only thing I thought of was honestly the biggest thing I had trouble with was thinking like, what are my favorite movies and TV shows? Because I don't have any that are, I have a couple that are like, I guess sort of my favorites, but movies especially, I haven't watched movies like, especially for myself. Like I watched the movies that my kids want to see. Like I've seen like Sonic and Sonic 2 and the various Lego movies and all that and Frozen's and all those things. I can't remember the last time I really sat down.
Movies play a much bigger part of my life.
They do.
For sure.
That's okay. I'm out there chopping down trees.
Yeah, and I'm in a giant bag watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, you know what? We're both living our best lives.
Absolutely.
But I mean, a movie I've always liked that probably is up there on my list is The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty classic.
Phenomenal.
So I thought of a fountain pen of unusual size.
Of course you would.
Like you have the rodents of unusual
And
size.
only you would be able to write with it.
Yeah. I don't want it to be like, look anything like the rodents of unusual size.
Would it be like larger than an emperor?
It would just be a really huge pen. I don't even know. I don't have any more details than that. That's just, I thought it was a clever play on the words.
I like it.
But yeah, so that's one thing I thought of. Some of my favorite shows, I love 30 Rock, Community, The Office.
All brilliant.
I don't know what those pens would be themed like at all, so I really don't have a clue. But
maybe not. The Office would be a little tough.
The Office is tough, 'cause
unless you
it's
made
like-
it look like a pretzel with everything on it, which would be very uncomfortable.
oh, that's pretty funny.
That would be very uncomfortable.
I like that.
Community.
Community's tough.
Community's tough. Some of my favorite episodes of Community, though, are the Halloween episodes, and then like all the heavily themed
the zombie
ones.
episode. Yeah, that was pretty good.
That one.
I don't know what would be like specific to that show, because it covers so many other genres that other shows and movies are. So I don't know.
Yeah,
There's something there, but I don't know what. And frankly, I just didn't put in the brain power to think of anything creative. But whatever, I like those shows, so maybe something around those. Fill it in with your imagination. But that's all I got.
That's cool. I like it.
I'll bring more to other questions, I promise.
All right.
Okay.
Moon Wolves, which ironically makes me think of Dwight Schrute and his Three Wolf Moon shirt.
100%.
So yeah, I kind of love the name Moon Wolves.
I may or may not have looked up the Amazon reviews of that shirt a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Three Wolf Moon.
They're fantastic.
It's legit.
It is.
It gives you powers.
It's because we carried that the sailor pen.
That's
It's got
right.
the wolf on it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, what about Dwight's shirt? Yeah, because
Yep.
it made me think of it. Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
go ahead.
Moon Wolves says, "Hey Brian and Drew, what are your top 5 pocket pens in order from less favorite to the greatest?" So we have some rails on this one, Brian.
Okay.
Moon Wolves wants us to start with the lowest and work our way up.
So the way that we have it in our notes has me answering first and then you. Truth be told, you put your answers in first, and I did base some of that.
That's what
off
happens.
What you did. I feel like, to truly be fair, you should say your answers first, and then I'll say mine, because that's how we came up with it.
I will say also that after you put yours in, I saw one. I'm like, oh,
You're
dang
like, oh,
it.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Well, I'll comment.
Okay.
I'll interrupt you when you mention
Okay.
that.
Okay. And this is not like, I did not put hours of thought into this.
Well, there were only so many pocket pens to begin with. So.
Yeah. I didn't even look at our website. I just did literally
No,
from memory.
Don't need to.
So
We know pocket
whatever.
pens.
Okay.
So my number 5, working my way down to my favorite,
Okay.
the TWSBI Vac Mini. I chose the
That's a
Vac
good
Mini
one.
over
That's a
the
good
regular
one.
Mini because it's so much fun to fill, and it works with the Vac 20A bottle, which
And
I love.
It locks itself off. So
Yeah.
in terms of carrying it around in your pocket and stuff like that, I feel like most vacuum pens, they seal off, and that's for air travel and all that. But I'm like, no, as someone who's literally disassembled carports and chopped down trees with fountain pens in his cargo shorts pockets, I can say you don't have to be changing altitudes to have
you still
pen
get
leaking
the, you still
stuff.
get the spritz.
So
Absolutely.
having that locking plus the ink capacity on the thing's insane.
For as small of a pen it is, absolutely.
Such a great pen. Yeah, I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
I've gifted. I don't actually own one of these, but I've gifted 2 of them.
Wow. All right.
And then the Sailor Pro Gear Mini. I don't actually own one of these, but
Okay.
I really love it. I love the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and this posted is not a huge departure from that.
It's not that different in size
but
than the regular
capped,
one.
it's very small. So
It's
definitely
very
a
tiny, yeah.
pocket pen capped.
It doesn't
I
fit a
only
full
wish-
converter. It doesn't fit a converter.
and that's fine. I
But
refill
it fits a
cartridges
little
anyway.
tiny little mini converter,
Yeah.
but it's
No, I refill
2
cartridges
drops
anyway.
a
It's
week.
fine.
Yeah.
But my only qualm is that they don't have a ton of colors available. I
Yeah.
wish they had more colors, but I do
They
love
have,
the
they
pen.
have more in Japan.
It's freaking adorable. I love it. It makes me happy. Number 3 is a new pen to our website, but the Shown Design Pocket 6. This pen
cool.
is unique in that it puts a normal size number 6 nib on a not normal size pen. So similar to what a Kaweco pen does is basically while it's, a lot of these pens actually do that. While it's capped, it's very, very small. And then while it's posted, normal pen.
Yeah.
And the Pocket 6 is engineered and designed so satisfyingly well that just operating it and fiddling around with it is such a fun experience. And of course, writing with it is great too, because Ian Schoen has crazy high design standards for himself, and it shows in the actual product, the end result. So love that one.
It's a good one.
Number 2, we're getting up to my top 2 here. Pilot Stargazer. I love the Pilot Stargazer, or as it is known across the seas, the Stella 90S. That's actually the one I have. I have a Stella 90S.
Okay.
It's not a Stargazer.
I mean,
Stargazer
same
sounds
pen.
cool, but
It does.
they're both the same pen. And for a while, I always considered that to be a small pen, not necessarily a pocket pen. But when you actually compare it to pocket pens, it's the same size as all of these.
Yeah.
So that one's right up there.
It looks like just a scaled down pen. It doesn't look like it was made to be a pocket pen.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. So that one's right up there. I love it so much, and it's so easy to carry around with you.
And it's got a gold nib too.
Gold
so
nib, the tiniest little Pilot gold nib. I love it.
Nib. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Number one, though, has to be the Pilot E95S, which is
It's a good one.
next to the Stargazer, by the way. I looked at them in my office.
the
Same size. Yeah. Same size capped. Yep.
Yep.
But the E95S is just,
It's got that long cap,
super long cap. It's basically mostly capped.
which is great because then when you post it, it's almost more like a full size pen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. So the reason I edged this one slightly ahead of the Stargazer is because while they both have very satisfying capping motions, which I love, the actual writing experience of the E95S is more enjoyable, in my opinion, than the more rigid experience of writing with a Stargazer. More of a traditional Pilot nib on that one as far as how it feels on the paper. The E95S is in a league of its own in terms of how it feels when you're writing. And that to me says fun. I have fun when I write with that pen.
It's a very bouncy nib on
It's
that
just
thing.
so much fun. Yeah, so that one has to be my number one.
It's good. It's good. I like that. I echo some of your lists. So there were definitely ones that came to mind as soon as I saw it on your list. I was like, normally I try to deviate from what you put on there, but this would totally be on my list, even if I hadn't seen yours. So I put it on there. So my number 5, I couldn't really decide if I had to choose. I would probably all the Kaweco pens, the All Sport, certain colors I really like, but the form factor of that probably I don't like as much as like a Lilliput or a Supra.
Can you even write with a Lilliput?
Not really. So that's why I don't. And that's literally the only pen I've ever owned that I've sent through the washing machine.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know it was in my pocket.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I'm like, I got to kind of knock it a little bit for
It's
that.
forgettable, literally.
But it's so portable. But the Supra I like because it's got the number 6 nib. It's the exact same kind of like design form factor of the Lilliput, but you can fit a full-size converter or not. So you have the option to shorten it. I'm a huge fiddler. I just love the tinkerability of a Supra. I like the big nib. So probably if I had to pick of the 3, any of them I could make an argument for, but I guess the Supra would be the Kaweco pen I would go for. So I put that as number 5, but it is a little bit heavy. So that's the only, it's a little bit of a honker pen. But I mean, I have so much crap in my pockets. I don't even notice what's in there. So.
I would love a titanium Supra.
Ooh.
That would be so cool.
That would be like $400. It would be ridiculous.
I don't know. Sometimes titanium surprises me
really?
with its affordability. Every now and then.
I don't know.
I feel like it's not
this
getting...
is like solid. Like that pen is like made from solid stock.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it would be expensive.
I do just wish it was lighter. Because they probably couldn't do it out of resin because it's too thin.
They could do it out of aluminum. That would make it much lighter.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like the All Sport. Like
absolutely.
I don't know if they've ever done that, but
I would absolutely
be cool.
buy an aluminum Supra.
Hey,
without a doubt. They did it with the Lilliput. Remember the green one?
That's right. And
that
it was
like, fantastic.
You barely knew that pen was there.
I love that.
It would like blow away on your desk if you weren't careful.
That's one I have a recent regret about not buying one of those.
Really?
That was such a fun pen. Yeah,
it was good color too. Yeah. So if they did a Supra like that, because then you can anodize it and you can make it look cool colors.
I'll talk to Kaweco about that.
You should do that,
Mr. Kaweco.
You do have a way. You do have a way with some of these companies. Number 4 I had was a TWSBI Vac Mini for all the reasons that Drew has already covered. Though I think it'd be cool if we saw it in like some alternate colors. Options. They really have never done anything.
They're a little
different.
neglectful over the Vac Mini.
It's a more complicated pen, like I understand, but still, that would be cool.
It's not complicated to make a new grip section.
I mean, what do we know? Nothing. Number 3 I had as a Pilot E95S for all the reasons. So I mean, it's a great pen, like really, for all the reasons that Drew's already mentioned. But I have a couple others that I guess. My number 1 I feel really good about. My number 2...
Your number 1 is what upset me.
Yes.
But keep on going.
I'm sure, because you forgot about it.
Uh-huh.
My number 2 is the Traveler's pen.
Oh, yeah, you love that.
I do.
That's your carport pen.
It's my carport pen. Part of the reason I love
100% of the times you've assembled a carport, you've had that pen on you.
This is true. In like 95 degree heat as well. So it was hot.
That's a great cargo shorts pen.
It's perfect. It's the thing I like about that pen is some other pocket pens... they can be a little bit fragile. So you got to be like a stargazer. I'm not going to
E95S too. I love the
E95S.
E95S. I'm not going to
Like they're perfectly durable pens, but they're not something that I'm going to want to just like put in my pocket and forget that it's there.
No.
And, put it right next to like where my pocket knife clips into my shorts.
God, no.
If it even has a clip, some of these pens like the Supra doesn't even have a clip. Okay, yeah, you can put a clip on a Kaweco pen, but let's be real. I don't do that. Like I'm not carrying that around in my pocket. Like,
also, like
a clip that just slips on and the pen can just slip out of the clip. That's not where I'm talking about. But the Traveler's pen, though, that thing is cool. It's got the fiddle factor because you can take off the little lanyard loop and take the clip off, and you can flip it around backwards if you want to for no reason, which I totally do all the time. But it's this tiny little pen, and it writes really reliably. It only comes in a fine nib, but I don't know, it writes super well. So that one, in my actual use of any of the things that I mentioned on this list, that's the one that I've actually carried around in my pocket the most. But my number one pen is my favorite. It is not a pen that we sell or have ever sold or is even made or has been made for the last 2 decades, but the Pilot M90.
Mm-hmm.
I love that pen.
It's an amazing pen.
It's so cool. I don't carry it around my pocket because it's precious and you can't replace it, and it's very expensive to replace now.
They're not so bad.
I haven't looked recently.
They're all, from what I've seen on eBay, they're all under 500. So it's not like
that's still so much.
It's for a steel nib. Yeah, I've seen them for like 180 every now and then. So
that's pretty good.
I know.
That's less than I paid for mine.
I know. I should have jumped on it when I did, but I don't know the condition. They have the Murex, the M90, and the Mew.
Right.
And sometimes they have one with like digital clocks in the back too. Like they have some crazy looking one. They're all pretty much the same in that they have an integrated nib.
Yeah, it's a stainless steel pen, and the nib is part of the body of the pen.
Yeah.
That's the only pen that I can think of that's like that. I mean, there's probably some others from way back in the day, but it's unique and it just looks so cool. The feed on that pen, if you care at all what feeds look like, that feed is like
it's tough to beat. A little falcony.
Oh yeah,
but
but it looks so sharp. It's so aerodynamic. I don't know. I just love that pen. So that one is my number one.
Yeah, I mean, if I had one, yes, that would be my number one as well. One day.
You get it one day. All right, and that's our list. So love to hear what you all think too. Even if you just have like 1 or 2 pens you want to put in the comments, I would love to know what you all think about great pocket pens.
Absolutely.
All right, Drew.
All right, Brian.
We got a couple of different questions here. I'm sure this is on a lot of people's minds.
It's a twofer.
From Jay Samso, 94, favorite inks for this time of year. And Potterwatch 221B says favorite Christmas-themed inks or pens for the season. So let's kind of just lump that all together, all holidays, winter, whatever.
Clump
them together. And what are some of your favorite inks?
I actually inked up my 3 pens, Brian.
Okay.
I have holiday-themed inks in each of my 3.
Oh, did you take inspiration from this question, or did this happen to coincide with?
I needed to ink them up anyway because 2 of them were almost empty.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let me do some holiday stuff. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about my Visconti Divina last week. So I inked that up. Okay. This one has diamine. This is an old blue edition or red edition ink. Okay. So I did Polar Glow in this one.
Oh, that's a good color.
Oh, it's such a good color. Heavy sheen.
Yeah.
Very heavy sheen.
Oh yeah.
So the sheen doesn't do a great job at drying. Mm-hmm. But it's still such a gorgeous blue. And the sheen on this one just, like, you move the paper after it and it just shines. It just shines without any shimmer, because I did not want to put any shimmer in this because it is an internal vacuum.
Yeah,
you can't see anything.
It's kind of a pain to clean out.
Not going to deal with shimmer in that one. But sheen, I'm like, okay. And then, of course, my very, very happy Christmas pudding Sailor Pro Gear Slim.
Nice.
I put, what's in here? I keep my notebook. This one is, ebony green, Private Reserve ebony green in this one.
Oh, nice.
So to match kind of the sparkly.
Like a deep forest green.
Yeah, to match the cap
good.
here.
Does that have any sheen to it?
Ebony green, no.
No, not really. Okay. No. I couldn't remember if it did or not.
Here, it doesn't really do a whole lot of sheen.
They have in a couple on some of the blues, like the Electric DC Blue has a little bit.
DC Blue has a little bit of sheen.
That's the one I can think of the most.
Yeah. And then finally, I did the 823 in another diamine ink vent color. This is Winter Spice. This has, on the bottle, it says it has sheen and shimmer.
Okay.
And it's brown. But I went back and I looked at the samples, and I'm like looking at the samples, and I don't see it. Like there wasn't enough shimmer that it's settled at the bottom.
Okay.
So I think that it's like brown shimmer, or like bronze shimmer in bronze ink. So maybe it was hiding, but either way, it's been flowing really nicely. You don't see anything clogged up on the feed. So it's definitely not saturated with shimmer. I was a little nervous because I liked the way it looked. It almost looked like it had a little bit of a green sheen in it.
Interesting.
So I really wanted to try it anyway, even though it had shimmer. And writing with it, I'm like, I can't really see any shimmer. And that's what I wanted. I did not want a lot of shimmer. I just wanted that.
It's just like a little touch.
That's what I want, yes.
A kiss of shimmer.
So I'm really happy with Winter Spice, with Ebony Green, and with Polar Glow. So that is what's happening with me in my situation this month. So kind of feeling that holiday vibe myself. Check those out if you are similarly interested, but that's me.
Nice. That's awesome. I did not actually ink any of my pens specifically with colors, but I might now because now I'm feeling a little motivated.
Yeah.
So I will say we do plan to make a top inks of 2022 video.
But that's like for the whole year.
It is for the whole year, and it's not specifically winter themed, but kind of along this vein, it's more of a plug of like, we do like to do top pens, top inks of the year. We've done that for a couple of years now. So we will be doing that, kind of like probably between like Christmas, New Year's. We'll launch those videos. Some of my favorites, I think Urban with their 1670 Rouge Hematite, the OG shimmer.
That's a good holiday ink.
I mean, it's like a perfect like Christmassy red.
It's
with
red
a
with gold
shimmer, even a little bit of green maybe. So very fitting there. Emerald of Chivor, one of my favorite inks of all time.
Yeah.
It's a deep green, lots of shimmer, some red sheen.
Those two are a power couple.
It's pretty tough
for sure
to beat those. Yeah. Diamine Golden Sands. That's like just a go-to I keep coming back to for like it's like a yellow gold color with gold shimmer. It's about as close as like a gold ink that you can get.
Between that one, so there's that one, Pelican Golden Barrel when that was a thing. I don't think that's a thing anymore. That was an ink of the year.
That was an ink of the year.
But then also Robert Oster Aussie Liquid Gold.
That's a good
Between
one too.
those three, those are the most goldy gold inks I've ever used.
Yeah.
So if you want just something
without going to like calligraphy ink.
Yeah, that is like straight up liquid gold.
Yeah. And then basically like anything from the Diamine Inkvent collections or any of those, like you threw those out. We don't have any of those anymore. I think we've sold through them all for this year, right? But
they'll be back.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll keep it going.
So
it was very popular.
The first edition, the first one was the blue edition, and they did the Inkvent calendar and then made those inks available later. And then the red edition happened. The Inkvent calendar went away. They brought in the full bottle. So now they have a green edition Inkvent calendar. We can only imagine.
We don't have any more of those.
Yeah, so
we sold them out pretty quick.
It's very likely that the green edition inks will also, because why wouldn't they want to make more money, right?
I mean, that's one way to put it. Very capitalist.
I mean, that's
why wouldn't they want to make?
Why
inks
wouldn't
that
they
people
want to
love and that bring people joy?
Yes,
and also make money. You can do both.
You can do both.
Not mutually exclusive.
That's right.
All right. There's definitely a lot of other really good colors, but those are some of my tops. All right. Next up.
All right. Finishing things off with Hill Ari.
A lot of
Hill
underscores there in between Hillary.
Ari asks us, you can only eat one carb for the rest of your life. Is it potato, rice, bread, or something else? Brian, every now and then people ask us a weird thing, and I usually am like,
this is weird.
We don't have time for this. I'm not going to do that. But you know what? I was like, let's throw one in. What the heck? I don't want to just make it so that no one that asks something weird and silly gets ignored.
This is the season to be thinking about carbs, right?
Why not? Send us willy seared questions. Silly, weird questions. You thought you were the only one that could do that. Converter cartridges? I don't know. It's one of those two.
Oh my gosh. My whole life, yeah.
So send them in. Maybe we'll read them. But carbs, Brian. What carb could you not give up?
I love carbs. I could just live purely on carbs.
Absolutely.
All the carbs. Some people are like, oh no, I really like salty foods. I'm like, no, give me all the sweets. Sweets and starches all day.
I asked my wife this one. She was like, pasta, 100% pasta. She could not.
I could go without pasta.
She could not live without pasta.
Really?
Could not do it, no.
I can totally live without pasta. No, for me, it's more the sweets. I definitely have a sweet tooth.
Sweet carbs?
Sweet, yeah, carbs.
Like what?
Sugars are carbs. Well, you have like starches and then you have sugars.
I think they're talking about like The starchy ones, like potato, rice, bread, the examples that they gave.
Okay. Well, I was thinking the foods that I like the most, which are the sweet carbs, like fruit. Like fruit has a lot of carbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like look at apple juice and orange juice.
Right.
Tons of carbs.
Yeah. Okay. That might be
sugars versus starches. It's all carbs. It's all sugar.
Sure.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
It all breaks down into sugar.
Yeah.
So
I think they were talking about the
question.
bready ones just based on their examples.
Fair
I think
enough.
when people say carbs, generally they're referring to like the bready stuff.
It's all carbs, man. It's
No,
all
I know.
It's all sugar. It all comes down to sugar. Anyway, I like fruit, apples especially. I could live on apples. Live on apples. I mean, we've mentioned this probably many times on the Pencast, but when I was a child of the age that my children are now, it would not be unusual for me to basically go up into my room for an entire Saturday and basically not leave except maybe to go to the bathroom and just like build Connects or Legos all day.
Bag of apples.
My parents would never see me. So I would plan it out and be like, I need sustenance that's going to last me all day.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, apples. Bag of apples.
Speaking of which, you and your logic-based consumption habits.
What?
I walk in here today.
Oh, my lunch today.
And then before we start recording, Homeboy's got just a handful of lunch meat, just turkey. Just holding a pile of meat. Just eating.
There's a big
right here.
Glob of turkey.
He's like, hold on, let me finish my turkey. And like I saw this out of the corner of my eye and assumed that there's bread involved
like
somehow.
I'm eating a sandwich. No, it's literally just
I thought it was maybe like an open face, like he had a platform of bread. No. Dude's just holding turkey in his hand, just eating turkey. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I needed sustenance. I had...
So there's a logic to that. Since we're on the topic of food.
You haven't changed though. This is you just being like, so matter of fact, like, okay, I'm hungry. I need sustenance. What is there available?
Yeah.
Boom.
I mean, I remember back like in my college days, my dad and I both like, that's when the Atkins diet came out.
Yeah.
And it was like, speaking of carbs, it was like, oh, okay. So like, let's eliminate all carbs. It's like, let's just eat like meat and cheese, basically, which technically dairy has carbs in it too. I didn't realize that as much at the time, but so it was not unusual for me to have a lunch that was like some kind of vegetables like pickles or, cherry tomatoes or something. And then just like gobs of lunch meat and cheese rolled up like a burrito or something. And then I would just eat it.
You're very utilitarian in your dining choices.
Extremely, yeah. Yeah.
I wonder, what would Rachel say? Like, what is the weird...
I don't have very highfalutin taste when it comes to food. I really don't.
What would Rachel say is the most random thing she's just seen you randomly eating at home?
Oh my gosh. I mean...
Like, have you ever like gone and just like start munching on taco shells or something like that?
I mean, I'm kind of a scavenger.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The weirdest thing that I eat? I don't know.
Well, to you, none of it's weird. To you, it all makes sense.
It does make sense. I mean, like... When things get really weird is like when I really have a sweet tooth and we have no like practical sweet foods.
Oh my God, please tell me.
But I'll eat like the little mini chocolate chips that we usually have for like pancakes. We have some like s'mores stuff that we bought.
Just eat the chocolate chips?
Oh yeah. I'll just like, I want chocolate in my face. I'll some semi-sweet mini morsels. That sounds pretty good to me. I'll like pour them in a little bowl and just like, be munching on them.
Go to town.
And then I drop them on the couch and then it smears into it and it's like a whole mess. I'm like, what am I doing? This is bad. I have a problem.
I will find it.
I will find it.
Chocolate.
I will find you and I will eat you. Yeah, but no, I think for the starchy stuff, I mean, I'm a bread guy, like
bread guy
through and through. Texas Roadhouse, those sweet rolls that they have there. Hawaiian bread, please.
You were the first person I knew that like told me about Hawaiian bread.
Get a loaf. The big loaf of Hawaiian bread, slice it up in really thick, like 1-inch thick pieces, put it in the toaster oven, toast it, butter it. Oh my gosh. It is the greatest thing. I could live off that if I had to. I could.
You are a King's Hawaiian man.
I would be 350 pounds, but I would be very satisfied in my taste buds.
You'd be happy.
Yeah.
You would be the King Hawaiian mascot.
I would.
Oh my God, dude. My face is hot right now. Okay. I'm sorry for my wheezing laughter. I'm just like, feel like every 5 seconds I'm just like, so
well,
apologize
not
for
getting
that.
any younger, Drew.
At least it's not loud and obnoxious. I thought about pasta because I do like pasta, especially spicy pasta, chicken parm, things like that. I really do love that. I can do without bread. Forget bread. I don't need bread. Bread's just filler to me. Like if I eat my meal and there's bread left over and I'm still hungry, I'm like, all right, that's when I have bread. But otherwise, it's just like tasteless filler. And also rice. I could eat rice for every meal. Like I never get tired of rice.
I like rice.
I could have rice with everything, and I could eat. Remember when I would just bring plain white rice for
That's right. You used to do that all the time.
It would just, I'd do pepper and butter.
Yeah.
But I love rice. I really love rice. However, I thought about it long and hard, and I realized I could not go without waffles.
Ooh.
And also, if I was having a hamburger, I would say, okay, I'm sorry, I can't have bread, but I can have waffles. So waffle burger. Yes, please. Yeah, why not? So I'm thinking like, okay, I could have waffles substitute a lot of my normal stuff. Have spaghetti
waffles instead
of some toast next to my spaghetti. Have a waffle.
Have a waffle.
Yeah, why not?
How would you have spaghetti though? You can't have pasta. So you just
right, not spaghetti. Anything
spaghetti
else? Anything that comes
waffle?
with bread normally. I don't know. What else comes with bread? Is it just pasta?
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever. I would have waffles more. Yeah, all about some waffles.
Okay.
Waffles would be the new bread for me.
All right. I don't hate that. I'm a fan of waffles.
Grilled cheese, waffle and cheese.
Waffle and cheese? I've never tried that. That is interesting.
I'm sure it's amazing. Waffle and cheese sandwich. Bring it to me.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Waffle burger, waffle sub with some lunch meat on there. I'd go to Subway and be like, yes, I'd like to have a meatball sub, but I brought my own waffles, please. Could you please just
put it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't sounding bad to me.
Thank you. Yes.
If waffles were more convenient, I would eat them more.
I would probably need to bring some with me pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But frozen waffles too. Like honestly, if you're gonna make a grilled waffle sandwich, you're probably gonna go Eggo just because they're there. They're easy.
They're there, and they're like they're not like the super deep pocketed Belgian waffle, style.
Yeah.
It's a little more practical.
So I'm going with waffles, Brian.
Fair enough. Man, I'm getting so hungry now.
I thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
I took this question way more. I honestly probably thought more about this than I did some of the pen-related questions.
I know, right? I did. Well, we don't get asked this very often. That's why.
No, it's a new one. I like it. It's almost a hypothetical, but
I had a very healthy like green smoothie for lunch, and
a pile of lunch meat.
I'll get it. Well, yes. There's a reason behind all this. So we bought like all this really good lunch meat when Rachel's family came and visited. It was a lot of people, but then we also cooked a turkey. So like we had all this leftover like more freshly cooked turkey. The lunch meat, it's got preservatives and stuff. So it's like, it'll last a little longer. So we prioritized the eating of the leftovers. And now we're realizing like, yeah, we have this like really good, we bought really good, deli meat, like freshly sliced, all kind of stuff. But now it's like, yeah, it's probably reaching the point where we either need to eat it or toss it. And I was like, okay, well, we had leftover salami and turkey.
You brought it in the deli bag too, by the way.
I literally just grabbed it out of the fridge.
It was in the deli bag with a sticker on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had a lot going on this morning, so
it's already in the bag. Why not?
I had a working lunch.
Very logical.
Jen came in. We were organizing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I knew that like I'm gonna kind of work through lunch, so I'll like nurse the smoothie. I can just kill this extra turkey, not throw it out. So mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But it does make for an interesting like if you just watch me in isolation, you're like, Brian, this is a really weird like eating habits.
I was not surprised at all. It made me laugh, but I'm like, this is just Brian. This is
I'll do that. Drew's seen me walk around the office before with like a bowl
of randomness,
and I've just got who knows
whatever can fit in there.
Often random veggies, but yeah, it's often like what is as healthy as I can get that is also convenient.
Sometimes it's just like a bowl of ground beef, like a bowl.
I'll have leftovers, we'll have a whole taco meal, but like I'm not going to do the whole taco
you bring the
thing.
ground beef.
So I'll bring the beef, and it's got rice and other things mixed in there. But I'm like, I'm just gonna bring that and reheat that, and that'll be my lunch.
None of this is silly.
It's like the taco fillings.
It all makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very logical. But it does look weird at a glance, I'll admit.
How did you consume all of the other leftovers, like the leftover turkey itself? Did you just eat that on a plate?
A lot of that my parents took actually.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't actually have too much. I mean, we basically did like a second meal.
I'm just picturing you like with a plate of nothing but stuffing. Be like, oh, this is all the leftovers.
There was not a lot of that. This is fifth generation stuffing, Drew. There was not a lot left
over.
Oh, so we did our big Thanksgiving meal on Thursday, and then we cooked another Thanksgiving meal with all the leftovers on Friday. So 10 people had 2 Thanksgiving meals back to back. That took care of a lot of leftovers.
That makes sense, yeah.
We were left over a lot of like white meat turkey, which I like dark meat. I'm a dark meat guy. So we were
I
left
did not
over.
know that about you.
Oh, yeah. It's got more fat. It's got more flavor. I love it. I love fatty meat.
Yeah.
I love ribeye steaks. I love bacon. It's just,
I don't.
As if you couldn't look at me and tell.
Shannon made a big pot of vegetable soup the week after Thanksgiving, so I ended up dumping a bunch of turkey just into that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Because it had no meat in it because Archer. So I dumped the dark meat and the white in there because I don't really care. I do prefer white meat more, but on turkey, it is significantly more dry than the dark meat.
Yeah.
So I will say that.
Yeah.
With chicken, I definitely prefer the white meat over dark.
Yeah, it depends. Depends how it's cooked. Yeah, but
it does have more flavor. I won't argue with you there.
Yeah, I do like it. Anyway.
All right.
I threw this in here, Drew. It's a hypothetical question. We haven't done one of these in a while.
We literally just did, but okay.
Oh, well, okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, like
Fine, if you don't want to do it, Drew.
No, I'm just saying
it is food related though, so it's like, I'm getting so hungry. No,
I'm fine with it. I'm saying, but we literally the waffle thing was in fact a hypothetical.
That's true. But
no, lay it on
I didn't really think about it that much.
We're already on track here.
So maybe that's why I had food on the brain.
Probably.
Yeah. While I had my handful of turkey that I was eating. So we can make this quick.
Yeah.
My hypothetical is if there's one meal or like food item that you could cook perfectly every time, not like eat all the time, but something that was like either you would love to be able to like serve up or something that is hard to make, hard to find, but you could just like nail it. What would that be?
Tiramisu, absolutely.
I thought of that one for you.
Easy.
That's a good one.
Because that's
it pairs well with coffee. How good would
I
that
gauge
be?
all of my dessert preferences on how well it pairs with coffee. And tiramisu is up at the top. Very top. And it's not easy to make. It's time consuming to make. You have to make a whole big thing of it. So if I could just crank that out effortlessly, then yeah, that would be pretty fantastic.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But that would be just for me. So if I wanted to think about others, then I would probably pick something like something a little bit more, something that would cover more bases. Like I know what's that steak that's wrapped in bread? What's that called? That's kind of hard to make.
Steak wrapped in bread?
Like it's like pastry. It's like laminated pastry. Oh golly, I forget what it's called. Anyway, my brother tries to make it every year, and every year he struggles with it because it's always got a soggy bottom. I don't even know if I like it all that much, but I just know it's hard to do. So I'm kind of thinking like, what's something difficult to do that I'd be able to master? But
yeah.
Anyway, no, I guess, I'm just going to go with tiramisu. But I know that there are some like, cakes and pies that are also difficult to make as well. So the first thing that came to mind was tiramisu.
Okay. That's a good one.
Since we're keeping this quick, I'll just say tiramisu.
Yeah. I was thinking tiramisu is a good one.
Beef Wellington.
What is that? I don't even know.
It's steak wrapped in bread.
Oh. That sounds pretty good.
It's rolled around like a puff pastry, like a laminated, flaky dough.
All right.
Bread dough.
Interesting. Make that with waffle. Now you're talking.
Yeah. So the goal is to get like that nice like medium rare steak. I think that it's filet with a nice light crusty outer shell.
Okay.
Without the bottom being soggy.
Nice.
From the meat
pretty good.
drips.
Bread pudding would be a good option too.
I love bread pudding.
Yeah.
Oh, I like bread pudding.
Oh yeah. Mine, I don't know. I definitely could go the sweets route, but I might shift it a little bit. I think I would go with risotto. I really like risotto, but it is kind of a pain, and you have to like be very attentive while you're cooking it. And it's kind of easy to screw up. So yeah, like a nice mushroom risotto. If I ever am at a restaurant and I see risotto, I always ask how it is. Yeah, because it's the kind of thing that's it's kind of hard to cook. It's not that crazy.
You being us just discussing how utilitarian you are, and then going from how's your risotto? Like, it's just a little surprising.
It's like if I'm going to go to a restaurant, I like to try to get something that I can't really cook myself, or that 100%. I like is more of a pain. Yeah, so it's like I'm not going to I don't know, do like burnt end brisket at home. I don't really smoke meat or anything. So it's like if I go to a barbecue place, I'm more inclined to get something like that as opposed to like a sausage that it's like I can buy a sausage and grill it.
I just realized you were 100% the type of guy that would have a giant smoker.
You would think.
I do think.
I should be that stereotype, but I don't know. I'm just not all about grilling as much as I should be.
All it would take is a little nudge.
Yeah, no, I
You
mean,
would
I've been
go-
nudged. I've been nudged pretty good, but
You
no,
have? You haven't gone down that rabbit
no,
hole.
I mean, I have a grill and I do it, but I'm not like
Mm,
not all super into it.
okay.
you know?
Yeah, I guess like the curiosity about cooking and food isn't quite there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know, I'm grilling outside and,
You'd probably
come back and
you'd
forth
probably
and all that, whatever.
weld together a smoker before actually buying and using one.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, there you go.
I could make some, make a grill of some kind. Anyway, very cool. All right, let's do a pen spotlight, shall we?
Let's talk about fountain pens again.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna clear a little bit of room, y'all. Put my computer over on the side. We got a pen to show, and this is kind of a fancy pen.
Yeah, an exclusive pen too.
It is. So we'll let you get your phone out. Okay.
Here we go.
So we got the Visconti. This is the Opera Master, which they don't really have like a regular Opera Master color. So
That's true. They
pretty
don't have
much
like a
all of
regular
these-
edition Opera Master. They're
no,
all,
it's pretty much all special pens.
and this is special.
It's got a little crinkly diaper
Crinkly
action here.
plastic.
And then, what else is in here, Drew? I know you like to unbox things a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's got a little, there's no converter or anything because it's a power filler.
What does it say about the trim on that? Does it say ruthenium?
Ruthenium plated.
There we go. Brian and I were talking about
It actually says ruthenium plated.
ruthenium.
How about that?
We were talking about how the ruthenium on here is,
It's not as dark.
but it definitely
as
is. It definitely
is on
is
some other ones.
ruthenium.
Yeah, I mean, it's a plating like anything else. So ruthenium, it's basically like a gunmetal type color. So it's not as dark as some of the ruthenium that we've had on other pens before. So that is worth pointing out. But the custom color is really great. It just looks fantastic.
It looks like fire. It 100% looks like fire.
I mean, it looks like it is combusting in your hands.
I love it. And combustion, the
Hook
resin,
safe. Ooh,
yeah, that
hook safe.
The combustion resin
So
is
good.
one that is regularly offered by Jonathan Brooks at Carolina Pen Company, but he mixed this one specifically for us and added more translucency than normal because he knew that it was going on an Opera Master with an internal filling mechanism.
Yeah.
So you can see a little bit through it.
Yeah, we wanted that because that's part of the advantage of having a pen like this where, it's the power filler thing.
Yeah, so you can see the movement there.
So you can sort of see the mechanism inside there. It's got your, double reservoir. So it's like you can get, basically a cartridge's worth of ink in the front section there before you have to unscrew the filler knob. And it's kind of interesting because these have evolved a little bit over time. I actually have our older exclusive here, which was the Luna. So this is a nice little throwback. So there's a couple of changes that have happened over the years. This one was a screw thread, which was not unusual for that time. And this is how most Opera Masters have been. But when they gave us the option to do a hook safe lock, it was like, oh, heck yeah. Especially on a big pen like this, because we just don't see that very often. This one does have an ink window, which is kind of cool. But that, you pretty much have to do that with the screw thread. You can't really do the ink window with the hook safe, or maybe we had the option, but it was like really expensive or something. I can't remember.
I don't recall having the option.
Maybe not. But the grip itself is slightly thinner, slightly smaller. It's got that extra little trim ring there, which I don't know if that's just something they do standard with the ink window option or what. The nibs have changed. So the Luna, back when we did it, was the old palladium nib. Now it's an 18 karat nib. So that's just something different. And then the overall dimension is relatively similar, but I feel like it does taper a little bit more. So it ends up being a little thinner on the end, and the filler knob is a little smaller, which I actually like better because the old version of the pen was slightly more back weighted and the whole pen was just a little heavier. So I feel like that actually does make it, write a little bit easier because it's not quite as chonky. And then the cap of the pen, relatively similar. A couple of small differences here is in the center band. It used to just say kind of opera. It's engraved right in the front there, which looked okay, but it looked a little, I don't know. It looked like a little more of an afterthought.
Yeah.
I like the Visconti
I like the V
logo
better.
there. It looks a little better. And then the resin in here, it's not quite as deep, like the enameling, I think, in the clip. The clip is very similar, but the enameling is not quite as deep, which, I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like the thicker a little bit more, but honestly, it looks pretty good as it is. And then the logo, the V logo, has changed a little bit over time. So you can't even really tell what's happening.
I like the more
old one.
minimalist V.
I do too. It is a little weird. I mean, this is how they do it, but to me, it feels like it should be 180 degrees. Like the V should be more this way
Oh yeah, I can see that.
as opposed to this way. But
It didn't bother me until you pointed it out.
There you go. Now you can't unsee it. But I mean, it's just whatever. It's just an aesthetic choice. It looks fine either way, but I don't know. This is what it looks like to me. But anyway, so $920 for this pen. So it's definitely up there, more of a collector edition. It is numbered limited edition. So the numbering is going to be right here, kind of subtly on the filler knob. And yeah, there you go. Large ink capacity. But I don't know, to me, I don't know how you feel, Drew, but the whole pen feels, I mean, I'm sure we have the tech specs on the site, which I should have looked at, but because of the slightly smaller grip and the smaller knob, the pen feels lighter, which I think is a big improvement. Because
yeah, it's already a pretty big
This one was
pen.
pushing the limits a little bit on the heaviness.
I think a lot of it has to do with that grip section. I mean, there's just less metal.
The
overall.
grip and the knob, yeah.
If you combine the amount of metal that has been taken off, it's considerable. And
I mean, this pen's not around anymore, and honestly, like we've carried some Opera Masters and stuff, but I don't know if this is more representative of like all the Opera Masters are doing now.
I believe it is.
So it's probably something that's evolved over time, not like, oh, all these features are special for our pen. No, not necessarily. But the resin is for sure. Yeah, and then of course this is the chrome plating. So I mean the lighting here is not great, so you can't really tell as much the difference between the chrome plating and the ruthenium. But when you hold them side by side, you can see it a little better than you can.
Yeah, I can tell.
If you're just looking,
especially with the nib.
Yeah, and if you're just looking on the website at this, it does look kind of chrome.
Yeah, look very chrome.
Yeah, especially next to the dark material. But yeah, there's definitely a difference there. So there you go.
Fantastic.
That's our combustion.
I'm really excited about this pen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's been an honor to be able to do this, and we've been hashing this one out for a while. But it's cool to be able to do it. All right, now that we have more or less covered some pen-related things, we get to truly just jump off the cliff here into nonsense land by talking about what's happening. Drew, what's happening in your world?
Well, let's see. I decorated for the holiday season, put up some lights.
Clark Griswolding your house there?
No ladders.
Yeah.
I have a no ladder policy.
Okay.
Everything is just ground level. I put nets over the shrubberies, and I put some little mini trees up by the front door. Nothing extravagant. We have a light up corgi that goes up by the little lamp post. So
that's very fitting.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
We did for this year buy some cheapo little window lights because everything was at ground level, so it looked very like the whole top of the house was all dark and
So window lights like for the inside of the house?
Yeah.
That you just put in the windows?
Yeah, so little tiny, super cheap, stick on like suction cup windows with one AA battery in each of them. And they can be on a timer, so that's cool.
Okay.
You basically light them all up, have a remote, put them on timer, and then go scatter them throughout the house. I had enough that I put one in every front-facing window.
They're like little proximity mines, like in
GoldenEye. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the suction cups have been varying in their functionality.
Oh, okay.
So there was one that I put in the laundry room window. So that's like the other. So there's the house, and then the house has like kind of a chunk poking out the side, which is the laundry room. But it does have a front-facing window. So I was like, you know what? Let's do that one.
Okay.
So it's not like one of the most noticeable windows, but it's still facing the front. So it's in there.
Okay.
The next morning, I wake up, it's the weekend, the dogs need to be let out. I still want to sleep, but I feed them. I'm just kind of like lumbering around, and I look at it and see that it's still on. I'm like, oh, why is it on? It's supposed to be the timer thing. So I lift up the blinds to, take it so I can re-timer it, I guess.
Right.
And as soon as I lift up the blinds, the thing just falls down back behind the washer.
Oh, gosh.
And so I was just like, nope. So it's still there.
Just chilling behind your washer.
I'm not going to, no.
You'll get it like 5 years from now.
I'm done. No, I'm not doing that. If it was like
You don't have do you have like a little reachy grabby?
I should get
thing?
a reachy grabby thing. Yeah, no, I don't
I have one
one
you can borrow if you need.
You
You don't need to buy a reachy grabby thing.
No, I thought about getting it, but it's not a super important window. So I was like, forget it. Stupid light.
Fair enough.
Just
of course. But it was just, it would fall behind the washer.
It was just comical because I was like, oh, let me check it out. Flop. Nope.
Like, nope.
Turn around, walk away. Forget it.
Fair enough.
And then more holiday decor drama. Every year, since we've had Archer, we've taken a holiday picture with him in front of the tree with our dogs to the left and right of him.
Okay.
Even when he was a little baby, there's a picture of him walking down under the tree with his little button, the two dogs actually behaving and sitting still while he absconded. And then for a little while, both the dogs and the child were listening to our commands. The dogs were always like looking up because we had treats. So it's like Archer like, ah, and the dogs were like, but anyway, it worked. We put it on Christmas cards, sent them out and everything.
Nice.
This year with 3 corgis.
Yeah, how's that
Two
going?
that are relatively new, that we have not really got down the sit-stay command. One that is, almost 12 years old and she'll stay put. But so we had listening dog on the left there, new Hank on the right, and he barely listens. And then Archer's in the middle with our very uncooperative, still technically a puppy, Felix. And so most of the pictures have him just like wrangling this dog. It's just like all up in his face. He's just like trying to smile, but you can tell he's like, you can tell he's like gripping this thing. So his smile's like,
a very forced smile.
Yeah. So it was just a mess. And then I'm like, okay, I think we got it. They all ran away, got treats and good. And I'll look at my phone. I'm like, oh no, we didn't get it. So we needed to reposition everybody. And I didn't get in the same position that I was initially. And then we just gave up. And I told Shannon, I'm like, I think I can probably Photoshop some of these together. Maybe. It turned out to be.
Michael Scott the thing together?
Oh, absolutely. I probably had 7 layers on here.
Okay.
Because a dog's paw was over something that I didn't have that thing. So I needed to get that elbow from another picture, put that on top.
Oh my gosh.
And then there was some where I had to cut out the dog and put him in there. But where I cut out just didn't look natural because it's fur. And no matter what you do, you can't cut that out. So I'm like, I need to find another piece where that dog's fur intersects with Archer's knee. I'm like, all right, there it is. So I got that little intersection, pop that on top. I think it came out okay.
Good enough, right?
But that wasn't the end of the drama.
Oh boy.
The end of the drama was that we ordered this stuff from, Shutterfly or whatever, and I get the actual cards delivered to our old address.
Oh no. Was it just defaulted in the system or whatever?
Because we had bought stuff from there before. So we realized, I was like, oh, it's been delivered. Uh-oh.
Where?
It's not like that hasn't happened before. I mean, we've had it happen before, but then I checked the address, and sure enough, old house, which I don't live far from.
Right.
But had to go there.
Oh, wow.
So I drive up and walk down the incredibly slanted driveway,
Yep.
And luckily they installed a storm door and that was closed, but the main door was open. So I could see into the house. And I could see somebody was there like sweeping or something. So I'm like, hi,
I'm not a
sorry.
weirdo.
And they like crack open the door like, yeah. I was like, hi, I think that I might've had a package accidentally delivered here. What is it? I'm like, I think it's like an orange box. It's like, oh yeah. And then they handed it to me. It had been open. It was like, oh, sorry, I wouldn't pay no mind, and gave it to me. And the whole time I'm just like so awkward, and I'm like, I feel like I'm speaking to them, right? I'm like, hi, sorry, I think I'm like, it's so God. And I walk away. I'm like, man, dude, you're lucky that was easy because you were just the most cringy person in the world. But I got them. They're fine. We addressed them. Don't have any stamps, so we need to get some stamps. But other than that chapter is complete. But golly, man,
wow,
freaking holiday
that
cards.
sounds like a saga.
We didn't do them last year. We took the picture just for tradition's sake.
Yeah.
But last year was sad because it was just the one dog. It was like we had 2, 2, 2, 1, and now 3. So pendulum
making up for it.
Yeah,
it's averaging out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then another holiday event. My realtor who sold us this house, sold our old one, had like a client little light refreshment and Santa visit thing. So I was like, oh my God, that's so good, because if you take your kid to see Santa at like a mall or something and you want a digital copy of the photo, yeah, good luck. They charge you $20 at least for the smallest package of photographs, and then maybe they'll give you the digitals. Normally, you have to buy like the second tier of printed photographs in order to get the digitals, because they won't just sell you the digitals, because they know that the value of that is pretty much nothing. And you're going to expect it to be like $5, because how much does it cost? Like, is it wearing and tearing the camera to print out, to send a file? No, not at all. So what they do is they have to package them with actual photographs that you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nightmare. It's crowded, disgusting kids everywhere.
Yeah.
So realtor says, hey, we're going to have Santa here. I'm like, great, free, wonderful, let's go.
Initially, when you said that, I thought that your realtor was going to like come around to your house.
No.
As Santa and deliver treats. And I was like, that's really proactive.
It was at the Virginia Cliff Inn where we just had our wedding redo pictures where we got married.
Nice. Okay.
So
like hosted an event where Santa was there. You could bring your kids. That's pretty clever.
It was perfect. It was perfect. We go there. Archer's like, I don't know. I don't want to sit in his lap. You don't have to sit in his lap. How about we just get a family picture taken?
Stay next to him.
He's like, okay, I'll get a picture taken with you guys. I don't want to tell him what I want though. I was like, okay, that's fine. I just want to write a letter. I was like, that's fine. You can write a letter.
He's suspicious.
He's very suspicious.
He's
so
skeptical.
And I said, because I know that he gets panicky when he changes his mind and he's not ready for something. I said, hey, just have two things ready to ask him in case you change your mind. Because I can totally see him being there and be like, I want to ask him, but I changed my mind. I want to ask him, but I don't know what to ask. I'm like, all right. So I've told him to think of two things just in case.
There you go.
So anyway, we get there, take the picture. Santa's like, you need to tell me what you want for Christmas. And he just like looks at me.
He doesn't want to do it.
No. So I'm like, he's shy.
He's shy.
So I shuffled him away, and he just did not want to have anything to do with him. So he has never been comfortable with that. And it's not like he was uncomfortable. I asked him, he had the choice. I'm not going to make him take the picture. So he was cool with the picture, but doesn't like talking to Santa. Doesn't like that.
I mean,
so
okay, fair
and
enough.
also last 2 years it's been just a letter writing thing because of COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's just that's not in his brain as something that is necessary.
Like bound to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So, but that got done. You know,
we've never done the like take our kids to Santa. And
really, never.
Never.
That's fine.
You know us. We got so much going on.
Yeah.
Ellie's birthday is right before Christmas.
If they're not asking for it, then they know they're getting presents regardless. That's what I tell Archer. He's like, well, will I still get presents? Like, yes, you will still get presents. It does not matter if you go see Santa or not.
Yeah.
So, yep, we did that. And then let's see. Oh,
what about your tacos here?
So we had too many tacos. Friday, Archer.
I don't understand.
Friday, Archer had.
How is this a thing?
I mean, not too many tacos for me. I'll eat tacos all day long.
Yeah.
Friday, Archer comes home, says, I had tacos for lunch. We're like, oh, great. Well, tomorrow night we're going over our friend's house and we're having tacos there. And we did. We go over our friend's house who had a kid that's Archer's age. He loves hanging out with him. So they just had a Nerf battle for like 3 hours while we just sat around and talked.
Sounds awesome.
He loved it. We had tacos. Great. Next day, we go over another friend's house, which we do every Sunday. It's just our normal Sunday routine. They also had tacos. So Archer had 3 days in a row worth of tacos. Shannon and I had 2 days in a row worth of tacos.
What's wrong with this?
Nothing according to me. Shannon was tacoed out by Sunday, so she did not really participate in taco having. But
this is where we're different. Rachel, she would eat tacos like all the time. It's like one of her favorite foods. Yeah,
it's the perfect food.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, also going back to the waffle conversation, you could easily put taco stuff in a waffle.
Oh, like
easy. Waffles can be everything you need them to be. So yeah, we had a ton of tacos and a good amount of social gathering as well. And one thing I noticed Sunday while we were at the taco venue, our friends Josh and Jeffrey have a Eufy camera, like a security camera or Eufy, whatever. I had just bought one as well, a doorbell camera.
Okay.
And the day I bought it, I found out that it's been revealed that this company is basically, doing facial scanning for China. And it's been all over the internet. It's been like, don't buy one of these. I was like, crap, whatever. So I'm like, should I send it back? I'm like, no, I have a Meta headset aimed at me all the time in my living room. So whatever, people have my face if they need it. And then I realized that
it's like, well, somebody's already stealing my
pretty
security.
Much. Well, at Josh and Jeffrey's, they have one of those cameras indoors. I'm like, dude, that thing has logged hours of me at this point. So whatever, it's there. But the thing's been a little wonky. I have like ball-shaped decorative orb things on our railings outside.
Yeah.
It thinks that's a person because it's got a little head and shoulders on it apparently.
Oh gosh.
So I had to draw a little exclusion zone around that. Like, no, not a person.
So I guess the facial recognition's not that spot on.
That's not, yeah.
Doesn't know what a face is.
So yeah, that's pretty much it though. Been a solid time in my world.
Nah, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't done we can segue a little bit here. I haven't done a lot of the decorations thing.
Well, again, you live back in the darkness.
We live pretty rural, so yeah.
Do you have driveway lights like going down?
No,
because that could be nice.
No, it's horrifying, scary darkness out
You should
there.
do one of. Have you seen that cool pavement that has like the glow in the dark pebbles in it?
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of money
Also,
and work.
it does, but you wouldn't actually. I don't think they would get enough
It
sunlight
needs to
during
get
the
sunlight.
day.
Yeah, it's like a driveway through the woods.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's pitch black.
The best thing you could probably do would be a lot of interconnected, like all weather, like strip lights. The stuff that's like in that transparent tubing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would look tacky. You don't want that.
Yeah. And our driveway is like 800 feet long.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of lights.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. We just have headlights on our cars, and I invest a lot in flashlights.
Yeah.
I have a lot of lighted.
You could always decorate your mailbox
options.
if you really wanted to do something, but
I could, yeah. But,
no, no one's going like past your house unless they're trying to get to their own house.
Yeah, and we live like sort of, further down the neighborhood, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 houses maybe that might see our house or driveway or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's really just for us.
I wouldn't do it.
And so we're like, we're fine.
Yeah.
We'll decorate the inside of the house. That's good.
Yeah, we do plenty of. We've got a pretty good. We've got a neighborhood where some people definitely go all out, so we're participating.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. I like doing that. I like going around. You were telling me about a trend. I haven't seen this for myself, where people are just like taking just giant bunches of lights.
The barf
and
lights, yeah.
Yeah, just like tossing it out their second story window.
It's something I see a lot downtown.
And it's just like coming like kind of cascading down the house.
The row houses downtown, they just open a window, seal it up afterwards, but they just dump a bunch of different string lights, of all varying sizes and colors, just out the window, cascading over their porch awning and just landing on their little garden in front. It's out there.
Is that like the whole decoration?
Yeah, that's it.
So, wow.
I've also seen people decorating their Halloween decorations. Like they have like a 10-foot skeleton that now has a Santa hat and some lights around it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that's a pretty solid idea.
Yeah, especially if you like already had it up for Halloween. Yeah. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Get more life out of it. That's pretty cool. Neat. Yeah, very cool. So for me, let's see here. What have we been doing? Joseph and I are working on this little project, this little display case thing that I think I mentioned this before.
For his Legos?
For his Lego.
Yeah.
He's got the Star Wars battle scene thing. So yeah, that's coming along. We've more or less dimensioned the wood, and this thing is going to be so big, it's going to be ridiculous. But you know what? He's excited about building it, and he's learning how to use a planer and a joiner and all that stuff. So we're like,
do you have to make sure that, because I know that when people buy or when people manufacture furniture, and even manufacture furniture to be assembled, it needs to, they pay attention to door openings and hallway openings and all the coded, dimensions of a home. Yeah. Are you thinking about that? Like
for this, it's not really a concern.
Okay. You said it was going to be pretty huge.
Well, it's 5 feet long. So it's going to be very long.
So are you going to be able to navigate that up your stairs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's 5 feet long, but it's only like 10 inches tall or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like
so it's very narrow.
16 inches deep.
Oh, okay.
It's basically going to like fit the top of his dresser because he's got these like Lego.
I see.
He's like giant Lego
I was
plates.
picturing like a piece of furniture. Like
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But it's just really big for a display case.
For small Legos, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but he has a vision for it, and we're seeing it through.
Is it gonna be glass or plexiglass?
Plexiglass, yeah. Because he wants to be able to like remove the top and like rearrange and kind of play in it as well. Of course. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna see how this thing goes. So custom little project, but it's coming along.
Nice.
So I don't know, just get to spend shop time with him. It's like what I've always wanted. So
nice.
It's pretty cool. Done some little bits of welding here and there. I've been breaking stuff, fixing stuff. Just having a good time.
Breaking stuff so you can fix it?
Not so I can fix it.
Good.
More just like using equipment outside.
That's how you know when you have a problem.
Yeah. I'm not getting angry and going out and breaking stuff.
Green Hulk?
No, it's more just
Blue Hulk.
I have equipment and I use it. And by using it for a period of time, it will break eventually. Like things break down. So then, it's like feels good to like, because I have some more artistic type things that I've like welded or woodworking or whatever. And that's always fun, but it's nice to like, oh, this metal thing has broken. What do you do? Like replace the object or go get it repaired somewhere? Or it's like, no, I know how to weld. I can just fix this thing now. So like, I've got enough experience now where I can just be like, oh, I'll just weld the crap out of it and make it better than it was before.
And you can also invent giant leaf blowing monstrosities.
Absolutely. These are the fun things that I like to do in my spare time, apparently. So I've been doing some of that. Nothing that's like, I don't know, exciting enough to like really share or take pictures of or whatever. But just use your imagination.
Have you watched any holiday movies yet? Do you have any on the list? Any must-haves, must-watch?
We watched some of like the Peanuts ones, like around
Classic.
Thanksgiving time. Yep. Yeah, and Ellie really likes to watch Christmas things way off season. Excuse me. So we've been watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas since like July. So
wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She loves listening to Christmas music in very off-season times on the regular. So
Okay.
I'm not like starved for experiencing that because we do so much regularly.
If you get a chance, I know that movie watching is not a thing that you like to do when you could be doing something
mind doing it.
outside.
Sure.
But we watched, this is the second, we watched it last year. We watched it again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Klaus on Netflix.
Okay.
It's like the story of like the origin of the Santa Claus legend. And
Okay.
it is so good.
Okay.
And now I'm not saying this to say that this is good thing, but I literally like tears are out of my eyes the entire time.
Wow.
Like both Shannon and Archer were making fun of me because I am a sap when it comes to any emotional movie. I'm just like, okay. Constantly.
I mean, I'll let it go.
Oh man, it is so
movies, yeah.
it is so heartwarming and beautiful, and it's like, yeah, it's fantastic. The animation also is so cool. I thought about it when you were talking about using a planer because he makes toys and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, if you get the chance, it is such a good movie, and everybody
I'll have to check it out.
would love
I've
it.
never seen that one. When did that come out?
It was like maybe
It's a relative.
2018 or something like
So
that.
like relatively
Yeah.
recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was it's a Netflix exclusive.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
But yeah, pre-COVID sometime. Yeah, 2018 sounds about right. 2018, 2017 maybe.
Okay.
But it's the most recent like annual watch that I have had. All like the other Christmas movies I've been watching for like all my whole life. That one is like one that I will absolutely watch every year, and it's pretty modern.
Okay. I'm sure we'll watch White Christmas because that's big in Rachel's.
I would love to
family.
watch White Christmas this year. We haven't watched that for
Yeah.
the last couple of years, but
It's a good
I
one.
miss it. That's such a good movie.
It's pretty classic.
Yeah, that's a
Very
fun one.
entertaining.
Do you think that Bing Crosby came out with that recording before that movie? I asked Shannon this the other day.
I think so.
So you think they made that movie because he had the famous song already? I know that that's not his song,
I
but
believe.
he had that famous recording of it.
Yeah, that's his song.
You think
that was his song.
that's his song?
I don't know that he wrote it personally.
No,
that
but
was
like he's the originator of that song?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh. So then you think they did the movie because he had that famous song?
I believe so.
You don't think the movie was the song was from the movie?
I can't remember if they may have like sort of coincided.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like it's a chicken and the egg.
mistaken. I should know this because I've seen the movie many times.
Well, I've seen the movie a bunch of times too, but I have no idea.
Let's see here.
Because those Christmas movies, for some reason, they're like so timeless. I have no idea when any of them came out. Especially like Christmas Story, it takes place.
So it was written by Irving Berlin.
Oh, the song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he did the musical. So I guess he did it for the musical. So you're probably right. It coincided. So it's definitely an Irving Berlin musical.
Right.
So it's probably from the musical, and then became radio.
I'm reading up an article here.
Radio played.
Let's see here. Yeah, he wrote White Christmas for a musical
There we go.
that eventually morphed into the 1942 classic flick Holiday Inn. Ended up winning an Academy Award for the song. In 1954, it was a title track of another Bing Crosby Christmas musical, White Christmas.
Okay,
there
so
you go.
he made it for the movie, and then Bing was just
So the
like,
song wasn't written for him.
it was written for the White Christmas musical.
Right.
There you go.
Or written for Holiday Inn.
Wait, I thought you said he wrote it for White Christmas.
So Irving Berlin wrote White Christmas for a musical that morphed into Holiday Inn in 1942. And then in 1954, it was a title track. So Bing Crosby's version of it, I guess.
But didn't Irving Berlin do the play? Do the musical that is White Christmas, like the movie?
That's a good question.
Like that's his play.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Like he did Sound of Music and all that too. Like that's his deal. He's the musical guy. Anyway,
You're asking things that I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
And I'm trying to read, but I'm not a fast reader. So
Well,
I don't have all your answers.
We'll
but
figure that out. Somebody out there knows. Which came first?
Yeah. But anyway, Rachel would know all these answers. But
Shannon will probably know too.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they're real big into that one.
Cool. No, that's a solid one.
Especially the sisters song.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there. Rachel and her sister
Oh,
would do
of
that
course.
song all the time. So that's
course.
pretty funny. Yeah. So that's probably, we don't have like hard like traditions of things that we have to do around really any holiday.
Shannon wants to watch Elf this year. That's like, she's laid that down. Like, Elf needs to happen.
Okay.
And then Archer watched both Home Alones for the first time last year, so he wants to redo those.
I tried to watch Home Alone with my kids last year. They wanted nothing to do with it.
Really? Archer loved it.
Ellie especially. Like, I tried to like prep them and get them like into it. No.
Oh, because like the home burglary thing?
Just we were like 10 minutes in and she just like
she
refused.
Was it scary for her?
Yeah, she didn't like it. She just didn't like it, the whole vibe.
I have yet to see Archer scared of something, but I did recently watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. I watched it Friday afternoon.
Oh, that's an intense movie for a kid.
It is. I'm not going to show that to him. But like, I'm going to watch all the Indiana Joneses because I saw the trailer for number 5. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go revisit them, including Crystal Skull, because that one's pretty meh. But I'm like, let me give it another shot. But also while I'm doing this, I'm kind of in my head saying, would any of these be good Archer movies at age 9? And so far, no, too many dead bodies and stuff on Raiders. And definitely not Temple of Doom, like actual hearts being pulled out of chests.
That's a weird one.
That was the one I saw the most as a kid because that was the only VHS we owned.
Yeah.
Also 1984.
I think that's the one I've seen the most as well.
Same. Yeah. But it's my least favorite.
It's weird.
George Lucas wrote that when he was going through like a really bad part of his life.
Clearly.
I think he had like just recently got divorced and his dog died or something like that. He was in a rough patch.
So the heart ripping out was maybe a not so, hidden metaphor.
Oh yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that after watching Crusade, I'll be like, yes, Archer can watch that one because they are fun movies, but he might not. They
are, but they're pretty intense.
It might not be time.
Intense.
Yeah. The only freaky thing about Crusade is at the end when he drinks the wrong cup, but that's like his face doesn't melt like it does.
Spoil it, Drew. Gosh, spoiler alert.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Jeez, gotta give people time, man. It's only been 25 years or something. Oh, that's good. Kids have been playing chess still.
Of course.
It's definitely a thing. And I'm trying to be cognizant of how many projects that I get into at a time. But I would be lying if I said I haven't watched many YouTube videos about building your own chessboard out of wood. Because I'm like,
I asked you about that. You were like, no, the wood doesn't play well together.
No, but it just, I'm watching how other people are doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. And I'm like, I do have some really nice looking woods that would look pretty great.
You don't need a lot of it either.
No, so you can use some like really like cool exotic woods and stuff. And it's like, oh, I have some really cool stuff on hand. I'm like, I have too many projects as it is. So I don't know. We'll see. And then it's like, turning the pieces, that's where it's more time consuming. But I'm like, you can turn pieces to look like anything. And like, I could make it simple, like more contemporary styling. And not have to be like all this weird carved, stuff. And I'm like, or I could just buy pre-made pieces and then just make the board. So I'm like, I don't know, like because the kids like, we're still playing it. And it's like, okay, this might be like a little more of a long-term thing. So maybe I will spend some time on it.
I bet you could get plans for like, I'm sure that they sell like a jig or something for you to at least outline the basic shape of.
Oh yeah,
because it's such a common thing to carve. I'm sure
it's not. Honestly, I don't even need anything special. Like I have a lathe. I have the ability to do it. It's just like the time. It takes time. But it's like if I just make it like, okay, this is going to be a project that I do, and I just
do it.
Especially because like if I'm going to turn chess pieces and stuff, like you can do that in pretty short periods of time. So I don't know. I'll probably we'll see. I'm trying to pace myself, but we'll see.
I want that Jack Nicholson gif right now.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I haven't committed to it, but I am looking at it. And I have many videos saved in my YouTube playlist.
Make it happen.
Also, I haven't really talked about this, but this has been a part of my life in the last several months. So Joseph, our kids play video games. That is definitely like a part of our life. Most of them I can't participate in because we have the Switch. Rachel plays the Switch a lot. That is her safe space. I go in the woods and she goes into wherever.
That's me as well.
Animal Crossing and
not
Zelda.
the Switch, but yeah.
Yeah. So I really don't get to play video games. I mean, phone games maybe because that's my own device that I have. But any other system, I'm like, I would have to like plan and commit for time to compete with either Rachel or the kids. So I'm like, whatever. I got plenty of else to like keep me busy. So I really don't do it very much. But one thing that I do play that Joseph is super into is a game called Bloons.
Oh yeah,
TD6.
Yeah.
It's a
it's an app, right?
Yeah, it's an app. You have balloons and monkeys throw darts and
Yeah.
pop the balloons.
I played that back when it was only like a Flash game.
Yeah, there's like it's been around for a while, but
Yeah.
they're on version 6 of it or whatever.
Yeah, I played it before it was an app and it was just online.
It's a really fun game.
Oh yeah,
like
really good physics and stuff.
I'm really picky with phone games because like it needs to be like something that's not too much of a commitment and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Joseph's super into it, watches YouTube videos on it, and it's become his like go-to thing that he talks to me about.
What is there to talk about?
Oh, Drew.
It's just
there's a lot.
Throwing darts at balloons.
But there's different monkeys.
It's like talking to somebody about Tetris.
But there's different monkeys. Like some of them, use different weapons and throw them.
Oh, this is different. So I remember when it was just one monkey, one dart.
Oh no. I will have to show you this.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole thing.
Oh goodness. All right. That's not
you can upgrade.
That's not the blues I remember back in my day.
You can upgrade the monkeys that have different popping
upgrade
abilities.
The monkeys.
There's magic monkeys. There's military monkeys. There's support monkeys. Yes, you can have monkey villages.
Oh, this is already
you can
now. I don't
increase income based on when they're popping, and it's.
See, you've already turned me off of it.
It's surprisingly complex.
You were talking to me about it,
but
then I'm like, well, I should download it again. That was a fun game. But now all this, I'm like, no, that.
Yeah, it feels like a bit much to dive into. Yeah. But Joseph's super into it, and I can tell that like he's at that age. He's like going to be 13 soon. He's at that age where like all the kids get into like kind of their weird specific thing, and they all just want to like talk at each other about this stuff. And like he's got some really good friends he's had for a long time, and like some of their interests are not overlapping maybe quite as universally as they used to. So there's dynamics there that are interesting that we're working through. So I can tell that like I probably wouldn't play this game quite as much if he wasn't also as into it.
Yeah, it's good to no matter what he likes to support that and let him have somebody to talk to about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Archer's like that with Roblox. Like I can't.
Yeah, Joseph was super into Roblox.
I can't
but like,
stand that game. The graphics are so bad. I'm like, why don't you play something better that's just...
Try to nudge him away from that because Roblox, there's like a chat component.
Oh, no, that's all shut off.
Okay.
He has a very strictly regulated tablet.
Joseph was starting to get into that, but this was years ago. I guess maybe some of those features weren't quite as honed.
Yeah, no, I've read a lot of scary articles about that.
There's like some very malicious things that can happen on there. So.
No, he can't chat with anybody on that.
Okay, but... Anyway, this is a perfectly safe game, and Joseph and I played together. So
nice.
It's been pretty fun. So that's kind of fun. And then just like a general like personal thing of like just with running a business, having kids, all this kind of stuff. I'm feeling the middle age is like it's like right there. Like I'm past the point of, oh, hello, middle age there in the distance. I'm like, nah, I'm pretty. I think I'm there. I think I'm pretty.
It's
I'm in it.
It's probably not as much about the age as just the mileage,
like the life stage.
I would say the mental mileage.
Yeah.
Like as a business owner that has been on a growth track for as long, you haven't had a chance to.
Rachel and I basically
rest.
we basically skipped our 20s and we just went straight into like the level of like responsibility and stress and everything of the 30s. We went into that in like 23, and so it has not stopped. So that combined with like just all the stuff with COVID and like I was remote at home and hybrid and all this kind of stuff. Now I'm spending more time dedicated back in the office, which is good. But like I have all these pens and stuff that I've acquired, and some are at home and some are at work, and I'm just like I've split. Nothing was like organized. It was like organized 3 years ago, and then all this other stuff I haven't integrated it back in. So everything was just kind of a mess. And I just kind of reached a point where I was like, okay, I think it's like wearing on me more than I realized. So
well, good for recognizing that.
Yeah. And props to our HR director and other folks on the team who've like helped me to like see that. They're like, Brian, I think, you've been under stress for a while. And I'm like, yeah, I know, like, no, duh.
That's my natural state.
Right. So sometimes it's hard to like know, like, oh, okay, yeah, when do I need to like maybe do something about that rather than just like doubling down. But it's like, okay. So I think in the last couple of weeks, I've been able to recognize that more, readjusted my schedule a little bit, some of these types of things. And like, I'm actually going through and like reprocessing some of my physical stuff, and going through, our project management stuff and all these types of things. Like I did that for our team because we recently changed project management software a couple months ago.
It was a big project.
We did that and I made sure everybody on the team was good, but I had all my own tasks, my own stuff, which only impacted me most directly, that stuff I like kind of delayed and didn't really do as much because I want to make sure the function of the team was all set. So I've had like all these things like that where stuff just kind of piled up. So I'm addressing all that. So, all the things that I've just like left unaddressed with like the COVID stuff ever since that hit. Now I'm like finally going through and like really going through and processing some of that. So it's probably gonna take me a little while. And I got some like health things that I'm looking into. I'm like at my heavier weight of where I want to be. So I'm trying to like address that a little bit more. I've been trying to do some diet stuff and it just hasn't worked. So I got to like figure out some different stuff. And, so I'm at that point where I'm like, all right, I gotta try some different things. So, I'm all good. Like it's not anything that like is anything. I don't have like a specifically identifiable thing other than like everybody reaches that point where they're like, yeah.
I think a lot of things are just coming to a head.
Yeah. Like I've been the rock for everybody for quite some time now. And it's like, I think I might need to be the one to get some help here a little bit. And everybody's been very supportive of that. So yeah, it's kind of like a general thing of where I'm at. So I don't have like any like, it's weird because I don't have a specific thing to be like, oh yeah, this happened or, but it just kind of reached a point where I was like, yeah, okay. I think I'm kind of at that point. So.
It's sometimes just a mental state where you need to just kind of focus inward a little bit.
And
also realize that you can't be the help that you want to be for everybody else if you yourself are not at your best. And
and like I was talking with my brother-in-law about it too, because he's kind of in a similar way. He's like the oldest he's got like 3 younger siblings, and he's always been the one that's like been the more independent, more kind of stable one. It's the kind of thing that like when you're used to being like the one that a bunch of people can lean on at different times, in a way it can make you feel like, well, I gotta be solid so that everybody else can kind of always have something to lean on there. But then also like when somebody who's used to being more solid gets a little wobbly, like everybody else starts to freak out because they're just not used to having to support the person who's usually the rock, right? Yeah. So I definitely have some of that.
Also, they don't know how. Happens. Like even if they have, they're like, oh, right, this person never needs support. How do I do that? Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
What support looks like for me is completely different than what support likes for you.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to, the last thing I want, and this probably ends up being a bit of a, self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing. I don't want to like feel like I'm not okay in certain ways. And I'm speaking in generalities here, of course, but like if I'm not okay, then I like tell somebody else and where was I going with this? And like, they don't know like how to deal with that or what to do. And then I end up comforting them because they don't know what to, and I'm like, well, that's not helpful. So I've then tend to just like hold stuff in more. So, I'm not out of touch with any of this stuff. And like, I see a therapist regularly and these types of things. So like,
you're very good at maintaining your tools and making sure that they get changed out. Like generally things speaking. Get oiled up, just treat yourself like your chainsaw and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the 5 chainsaws that I have. Yeah. So, I mean, but like, so it's things like that. It's like stuff builds up over time. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. There's like probably some stuff here that I've let go a little bit too much. So
you gotta floss the tines, man.
Floss those tines, right?
Stuff builds up.
So yeah, generally pretty good, but like I'm making that space to take care of some of that.
Good.
Now I probably should have crashed and burned like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
With all the stress of COVID, and the fact that I didn't is probably a minor miracle.
I mean, Mick Jagger's still alive. I think he died like 20 years ago. So,
right. So it's like, yeah. So it just the ongoing management of like the stress and all that. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm just readjusting things a little bit. So
good.
Nothing major. I'm just to keep doing Pencast and videos and things like that. That's not the most stressful stuff. It's just all the like, it's like we call it pebbles in the backpack.
Yes.
Right. So it's no one thing. It's just all these little things that have built up over years. And now it's like, okay, maybe I need to like clear some of this stuff out. And I've been doing some of that and getting, even just like me recognizing that, other people on our team and other family members and stuff like that have totally jumped on board and been willing to help. And it was like, oh, okay. So even just recognizing like, this is what I need right now, everybody's, super willing to help. So even just as we're starting to clear stuff out and process things, like literally the reason I was eating lunch, with a handful of turkey and a smoothie.
Don't make me feel bad for making fun of you, Brian.
That's right.
If I'm going to feel bad, don't even say it.
I like went through everything at home because like before we had our family visit, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have like a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old run around the house. I can't just have like expensive pens out on the desk and all that kind of stuff. So like I packed up all that stuff into bins and like shoved it up in my closet.
Oh no.
And so it's like,
How many of those are inked up?
well, yeah, exactly. So it's like this has happened like several times over the last 3 years. And so it's like I have bins and bins and bins of stuff that's just mixed context, mixed, so it's like, okay, I'm going to bring all that stuff to the office.
100%.
So like right now my office
I saw.
looks like a war zone.
When I went in there
like,
to get the Visconti.
Yep, there's like piles of stuff and you're just like, what is happening in here? But like getting everything in one place, sorting through it all, making piles, making things, and delegating stuff. Asking for help. Yep. So like Jen came in, we worked over lunch, and like, wow, what a difference that makes. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
First step is just getting it all out.
Yeah, that's right. So
not doing any good in that closet.
No, it's not. And there's more too. I got to go back and find more stuff.
I mean, as well as I do, just getting out there, talking about it. And
absolutely.
Talking about it just makes it real.
Mental health stuff, man. Yeah, for real. It's legit. All right. That's all my stuff. We got some company updates, and then we're going to wrap this sucker up. All right. We do have one video that we have released since the last Pencast. This is a Drew special. 5 game-changing fountain pen accessories. So I'm excited about this one.
I feel very strongly about these.
Yes.
Basically just my way of telling everybody to buy a bulb syringe. So spoiler alert.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's greatest tool.
It is.
It's like spoil the videos, but there's other accessories, 4 more. So go check that one out. Very YouTubey. We're leaning hard into like what YouTube wants in its algorithm, and let us know what you think of that. And then this is not anything that I want to blow out of proportion. We got a lot of illnesses that are happening inside the company. It's not affecting like shipping and delivery times, at this point. If it gets worse, who knows? But like everybody had Thanksgiving and family visits and that kind of stuff. And then nothing COVID related, thank goodness.
I drove in yesterday
all kinds of stuff.
I thought we were closed.
There were like 3 people in the office.
I had to walk into the back and be like, is anybody here? Like,
no, it was like half our fulfillment team.
It was weird.
There's some flu stuff. There's random other things. But I will say, we used to have it be, especially around the holidays, people would come in pre-COVID, people would come in and be like, and you're like, oh, like you really shouldn't, you need to go home. You're sick. I feel like people have been a lot better about that.
They really
since
have.
COVID.
Well, most of
just
our
with
team,
all illnesses, most
of our team is in especially there. We've got one person. Well, no, we got 2 people back there that were hired in the last year, but most everybody back there has been with us since like 2016.
Yeah, or the tenure on our fulfillment team.
So they get it. They get like we're not going to get mad at you if you take a sick day. Like we don't expect you to come in here when you are ill. So they're finally getting that. And when 90% of an office understands that, the 10% that don't like very quickly do, because they just get the atmosphere. So everybody's very, very plugged into the fact that it's an understanding culture.
Absolutely.
Here. So that's good.
We've gotten better about that. We've addressed that more, and we have better metrics around like turnaround time for our products and stuff like that.
Yeah, nobody gets praised here for overworking themselves.
No, I mean probably Rachel and I are some of the ones who do it the
and
worst.
Nobody
just because of our own,
and everybody's always trying to really all in. But.
Yeah, everybody tells us to like take time off more than anybody else. But no, I mean, so again, it's not anything I want to blow out of proportion. Our team is handling it really well. It's literally just like, no, this is like
company
this
update.
is like life stuff that people are dealing with. But
it's happening.
We almost put it in the newsletter this week, but we didn't even want to because we want to blow it out of proportion.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be able to handle everything okay. Knock on wood that it will. But there's definitely more illness and stuff in general that's going around right now. So we're seeing that just like it's happening in the greater population.
And I didn't add this into the into an official question, but we did get a question about how many people work here at the company. If you're ever curious about any other member of our team or how many people work here, we have a section on our website called About Us and Meet Our Team. So go meet our team. It's got a little fun fact about everybody. Got a picture. It says when they started with the company. So if you're curious, they're all there. We have photos of everybody, every single person. We don't omit anyone. So they're there if you're curious.
There you go. Very cool. All right, that's all we got. Let's wrap this thing up. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for watching. Please leave us some feedback in the comments. Let us know how we're doing. Ask us some questions. Chime in on any of the questions that we answered if you got your own thoughts. Be sure to check out gouletpens.com for your fountain pen, ink, and paper needs. Subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all these places. And you can email us at pencast@gouletpens.com, especially if you're an audio listener. And my fun fact for today is holiday themed, Christmas themed specifically. So this was according to Good Housekeeping. So take it up with them. I find random things on the internet and I'm always like, I'm going to talk about this, but I'm not going to check 5 sources and make sure it's accurate. So anyway, according to them, apparently Santa's reindeer have had a host of different names over the years. And I did not know any of these, and I thought you would find them interesting, Drew. So Rudolph was almost named Rollo or Reginald.
Reggie the red-nosed reindeer. I love it.
It has a little different ring than Rudolph, too.
Reggie.
It does, yeah. But his crew also had some other names. So they've been called Flossie, Glossy, Racer, Pacer, Scratcher, Feckless,
What?
Ready, Steady, and Fireball.
Fireball. He was from the Rankin Bass special. He was Rudolph's friend with the little, he was like a little ginger friend.
There you go.
I'm Fireball. Yeah. That's a thing. Oh, that's a little bit of throwback.
A little bit of throwback.
Scratchy's disgusting. Like that's like a mangy reindeer.
Scratcher.
That's still terrible. Scratcher.
Yeah. I mean, Dancer, Prancer.
Racer makes sense.
Racer, Pacer. Those all make sense.
Yeah.
Flossie?
No. Flossy and glossy.
Glossy. Feckless. That's the most interesting one.
Feckless.
Feckless. Yeah. Feckless. Somebody on the team was asking me, they were like, does that have like a not safe for work connotation to it? And
well, we've already said it.
Well, I don't know about that, but the dictionary, whatever.com definition, lacking initiative or strength of character, irresponsible.
Oh, what a burn. That poor reindeer.
Yeah. Merriam-Webster says, someone feckless is lacking in feck. Super helpful.
Lacking in feck. So feck is like, go get him.
Yeah, weak, ineffective, worthless, irresponsible. It's a pretty harsh.
That's a very milquetoasty insult.
I was thinking about
that.
Yeah, milquetoast. Milqueoast. Look up that word. It's
feckless. Please don't ever call me feckless.
Feckless.
If I ever see that on one of my evaluations, I will cry.
A feckless milquetoast.
Oh!
It's just nobody will understand what you're actually saying, but if they look up the definitions, they'll be very insulted.
Absolutely.
Feckful apparently is also a word.
Please put that in my evaluation. I want to see.
You've been very feckful.
Thank you so much.
So feck means majority or effect. So it's ultimately an alteration of the Middle English effect. So someone without feck is without effect or ineffective. So in the past.
So basically, you're pointless.
Kind of.
Oh, you have no effect.
It's a harsh word.
That is.
I'm sorry, it's fallen out of favor.
Why would Santa name a reindeer that? That must be just the most useless reindeer in the world.
Yeah, I know, right?
I imagine everybody flying and this thing just like dangling because it's not even doing anything.
Facing the wrong direction.
It's just flopping there. It's just like hanging in its harness with legs just
like
totally
asleep. Yeah. Wow.
I kind of like that.
Feckless. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Thought that was a fun little thing to share.
I think this would make a great movie. All these original reindeers.
Yeah.
And
it's like an alternate timeline.
I can imagine all these have more personality to them than the currently existing.
They do, yeah. The rest of them, it's like, okay, they're all kind of like interchangeable.
Like
personality wise.
Yeah.
Rudolph and whatever, Donner maybe?
Yeah.
Like, is Donner the one that, I don't know. I'm really only thinking of the claymation special. Was Donner like the lead, whatever, captain of the
there was really no, you talking about, there was a gym coach.
No, there was like one of the head. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I
haven't watched that in a
I think Donner was Rudolph's dad.
Was he? Oh, maybe.
He was.
Oh, I don't know. Apparently I need to rewatch
You'll wear it and you'll like it.
That's right. Anyway, that's all we got for this week. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back with more sweaters and other things next week. Bye, everybody. Right on.